Welcome, everyone. This is a regular meeting of the Municipal Council of the City of Westmount, held in the Council Chamber at City Hall on July 7, 2026, starting at 7:07. We are all here with the exception of Councilor Chada, who's on a family vacation or celebrating her father's birthday. We wish them well. So item number 1, I call the meeting to order. Number 2, which is the mayor and councilor's report. I always give a few comments at the beginning, so I have my comments. Hope you can hear me okay. We have more air conditioning. It's working better than it did last time. Good thing. Good evening, everyone, and welcome, bienvenue. Before we begin tonight's agenda, I would like to take a few moments to speak about the kind of public conversation I hope we can continue to have here in Westmount. Over the past number of months, I've heard from many residents, some of you are here, at public meetings, by email, on the street, at community events, and through letters and comments shared in our local newspapers. Some of the feedback has been supportive, some has been critical, and some have challenged decisions that Council is considering or has already made. I want to say it clearly, I welcome the input. La démocratie ne se limite pas aux élections. Elle se vit aussi entre les élections, lorsque les citoyens posent des questions, expriment leurs préoccupations et proposent des idées. À Westmount, nous avons la chance d'avoir des résidents engagés, informés et profondément attachés à leur ville. I was very touched to see a recent letter in the Westmount Independent from a resident who wrote about democracy returning to Westmount. I appreciate the sentiment very much. I also want to say that democracy is not something any one mayor, councillor, or council can deliver alone. Democracy depends on all of us, on elected officials being open and accountable, on residents being informed and engaged, and on all of us making room for respectful disagreement. There will always be issues where people see things differently. That is especially true in a city like Westmount, where residents care deeply about heritage, architecture, public safety, infrastructure, taxes, services, and the character of our neighborhoods. When people are upset, it is often because they care, and I respect that. Tonight, as we discuss matters before Council, including questions relating to bylaws, planning, and the future direction of the city, I ask that we approach the conversation in that spirit. Council has a responsibility to make decisions that are thoughtful, legally sound, practical, and in the long-term interest of the city. Residents have every right to ask how and why those decisions are being made. My commitment is that we will always continue to listen. We may not always agree on every decision, and we may not always be able to satisfy every point of view. But residents should know that their voices do matter, their questions are taken seriously, and their input helps shape the future of Westmount. This is the kind of democracy I believe in: open, respectful, informed, and focused on making our city better. I also want to share a few updates with you this evening. First, we are very pleased to announce the launching of a new initiative for families in Westmount. For every newborn or adopted baby in our city, we will plant a tree. The family will be offered a tree for their property, or if they prefer, we will plant one in our public spaces in honor of the child. Each year we will hold a celebration, and as these children grow, they will be able to see their tree grow with them. It is a simple but meaningful way to honor new life, strengthen our urban forest, and create a lasting connection between our youngest residents and the city hall they call home. More details will follow. I am also pleased to report that our road work is proceeding well. The work is on schedule and on budget. And I want to thank residents for their patience as we continue to invest in the infrastructure that Westmount so urgently needs. Road work is never convenient, but it is necessary, and we are committed to managing it responsibly and communicating clearly on the work as the work progresses. Finally, I want to say a few words about the merchants of Westmount. We are privileged to have an amazing group of merchants here in our city. They contribute so much to the life, character, and vitality of Westmount. Summer is a wonderful time to explore our neighborhoods, visit our shops, and enjoy the many restaurants and terraces that make our community so special. Susan and I, my wife Susan, and I hope that to see you at some of these great places over the summer. Please stop by. If you see us at a restaurant, stop by our table, introduce yourselves and say hello. We would be very happy to meet you. À nos commerçants, je veux dire merci. Vous faites partie de l'âme de Westmount. J'encourage tous les résidents à vous appuyer, à vous visiter et à profiter pleinement de ce que notre ville a à offrir pendant l'été. Thank you for being here. Thank you for caring about Westmount. And thanking for helping us do this work together. Before I ask councillors if they have any comments, I always go back to the questions that were posed last time, for which we had incomplete answers, or to give you an update. So one was, somebody asked about the Holton stairs and why they were condemned and we are not allowed to use them. Anyway, we have a report on that. It was based on engineers, independent engineers who saw it was not safe. It's the supports of the stairs. And the job is out to tender, and it will be, the stairs will be done, fixed, and ready for use this summer. Good news. The second thing is there's been a lot of noise at 245 Victoria. This is an ongoing issue. I want to bring you up to date on that. It's a very serious matter for us to limit the noise. There are noise laws, and people must respect the noise laws. The story, what happened there is they have a commercial air conditioning system on the roof. It failed. A new one is ordered. It's not ready yet. So in the meantime, they put in a chiller, which is an outside air conditioning unit on the side, made a lot of noise. They surrounded it with a box. And we've been working with them. We visit them every single day, and they're serious because we told them this has to be done, and they're serious people. So the latest is that they hired, and with our knowledge, an independent acoustic engineering firm who recommended the inclusion or the setup of certain sound barriers. That was completed either Friday or Monday, yesterday. And the independent acoustic engineers are doing readings every day, and they will issue a report, the readings of the level of how many decibels, and they will issue a report and we will get a copy. Hopefully that will be satisfactory. And if not, we will take further action and make sure that we're just letting you know this is an important issue for us. Another issue which was talked about last time and conclusion wasn't reached, I'll just bring you up to date, is the issue of a turf field. As you know, our assistant DG, who's here, Mr. Lapointe, has had conversations with Marianopolis. They have new people in charge there, and he met with them as late as last week. And they are very serious about doing something what sounds spectacular, but it's at the very early stages. And that would be much more than just an artificial turf. It would be much more of a complex, a sports complex, and they're asking if we're interested in participating with them, and we are. We've expressed that to them, but this may take years in the making. So in the meantime, we've asked the administration to look at other alternatives to put in an artificial turf and do some work on that. This just happened the last day or so. Looking also, there are issues that were raised by some of the residents as to the environmentally friendly nature of an artificial turf. So we're looking at what alternatives there are and where they can be put. And we will keep you informed with every meeting, rest assured. Another issue which is very important, a lot of people came to talk about Argyle. So I'd like to talk about Argyle. It's really the safe routes, but the people who came to talk about it, so this is a project that started before my time years ago, and the whole reason behind the project is safety for children. Let's not forget that the whole project is safety for children. We have quite a number of schools in Westmount. We have 2,500 students, and there are issues on some of the streets. Westmount, by its nature, as you see, has very narrow streets. We can't change that. And we need parking. You have parking on both sides, and you often have two-way traffic on both sides. And that has caused a lot of concern in many areas. We see people making U-turns illegally. Never mind that it's illegal, it's at risk. People today are driving big vehicles. They may not even see little children from being so high up. They drive on the sidewalk, and it's really not acceptable. We have very capable people here in the city, and as our employees, we have an expert really on the matter. In addition, we have a chief engineer, we have our DG who's always involved, and assistant, or effectively a senior director who's also involved. And we've looked at all kinds of internally, we've looked at all kinds of alternatives, what we can do. We've augmented that with studies done by people on the outside, and so we've got a lot of expertise here, and we have to balance at the end of the day what is good for the majority. We listen to everybody, and believe me, we went to see the schools, we talked to people, we talked to parents, we talked to children, and really, at the end of the day, we have to do something to protect the children. If our experts are telling us one thing, and it may not be perfect, we looked at it again. I personally got involved. I met with people inside, outside. We have Councillor Shami, who's been very involved, Councillor Chomsky, who've pushed the envelope and meeting with residents and seeing what we can do. And so we've decided to go with a plan starting this school season. And what we've decided to do is to make 3 streets one way. So that's Kensington, Metcalfe, and part of Argyle. So as a result of listening to people, and there's people on Argyle, the other 2 streets we didn't hear anyone have an issue. And on Argyle, there's a lot of people who did complain about the issue, and we want to listen to everybody. I said that I believe that. If you know me, by the way, some of you know me, I've been in the service business my whole life. I was a partner with Ernst & Young, and I believe strongly in trying to help people and accommodating people, accommodating clients. And I took this role as mayor, not for the money, not for the fun that it has every single day, but really to help people. I enjoy it. I think I can make a difference. I know I'm making a difference. I can help people. And wanting to help people means you want to help everybody and you want everybody to be happy. But there are some times you can't always help everyone, and you have to look at the bigger picture. So as a result of comments that were made, and we listened to you. So one change we're making on Argyle is that north of Thornhill, that would be to Mount Rose, it will remain as it was, 2-way. We believe, if you look at the end of the day, you have children walking across the road, children walking on sidewalks. It's much safer, it's just common sense, it's much safer for them to see, to know that the traffic only comes one way. So we're going to try this, and it's not irreversible, I want to let you know. We're not carving up the street, we're not reconstructing the street. What we're doing is we're making Argyle, it's a 600-meter space approximately. We're making it one way. It's from Thornhill going down south to Côte Saint-Antoine. What we've done in addition is we've got the cooperation of all the schools to help. And for example, on Argyle, the headmaster of Selwyn House, I spoke to personally, is on vacation. I said, I need your help. At the moment, the way it is now, people drop off their children and there's nobody really there to receive them. I said that we need somebody from Selwyn to be there during the drop-off period to make sure the kids get in safe. And it will help alleviate traffic, we believe, because the parents, as they drop off the children, will see clearly that there's somebody from the school there, whether it's a traffic guard or a security person or a teacher. And the headmaster said he's going to be there as well at the beginning to make sure, to see that their kids are dropped off safely and their cars can leave. We think that will alleviate traffic. You know, the streets of Westmount are narrow, and I said that, and it's a hard thing to have to deal with. So again, we're not reconstructing the street. We will put in, there's one speed hump envisioned. There's a couple of bollards. It'll be one way. We will continue to work with you and observe and listen and learn, and it can be tweaked. It could be changed. It could be improved. It could be even reversed. We're not doing it with the hope that it's going to be reversed, but a lot of things can be can do. We will continue to observe and get this done. We're also working with the administration to see what we can do about having making sure that big trucks do not use the space as was recommended to us. Do not go up or down down the street now, except with special circumstances. And all the questions, people had a lot of questions. We had 145 questions. They're all answered very clearly on the website. We'll be looking at, if it continues like this to winter, make sure that there's winter safety. And really, I think at the end of the day, we have to look at, I appreciate the fact that it's an inconvenience for some people who live there. They have to go around the block. It's going to take an extra minute. We do understand. We do appreciate it. The people of Westmount and the students appreciate it as well. But this is something that we feel should be done. If the experts and everyone looking at this multiple times come to the same conclusion, we have to try this one way, and let's see if this is safer for our kids. So we're going to start that with the school season. And I hope we have your support. And we will continue, as I said, to listen to all of you, to help you, because that's why we're here. And at the end of the day, don't forget, this is for the safety of children. So this is really all that I had to say about that. I don't know if any councillors had anything they wanted to say. I thank Councillor Chomsky for being involved, and I really have to thank Councillor Chamy, because he wouldn't let go. He kept coming back with new things, and having spoken to so many people so many times, and what came out of his conversations really is the decision to leave the area above Thornhill as two-way, and to get the involvement of Selwyn House, which he started. So I really want to thank him for that. It was great help. Thank you. Councillor Chamy.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Mayor. If I can, I just want to shout out, I met a lot of my residents in District 3, residents on Argyle, especially who reached out with letters, emails, phone calls, calls to Europe, calls all over the world, and meeting around the kitchen table. And I have to say, the Mayor, you put it really very clear. We looked at, of course, we all agree. Everybody agrees on the safety, the safe routes to school, the safety of our children, and how do we make our roads better. But remember, we're a 150-year-old city. Our sidewalks they don't comply in the size. You have 4 lanes. You have, as you said, big cars dropping off kids. So there were so many issues. But I really do believe the bonne volonté, and I say it to the Argyle residents who are disappointed that I couldn't advocate stronger, and I tried. We looked at winter conditions. We looked at improved way of stopping big trucks. We looked at how can we mitigate possibilities of accidents. And we looked at closed access for a time period. I thought perhaps if we just did it for the school season and gave relief a non-school season, that could work. But our experts and the police and the public security came back, and everything we tried, ladies and gentlemen, they said, to change it, people will be confused. It's a one-way during the school season, but then all of a sudden, July and August, it's back to a two-way. So the Mayor is committed to try this, and you have my commitment as your advocate in District 3. We will monitor it, we will check the metrics, and we'll come back. And if at the end of the day, as Mayor Stern has so eloquently said, if the metrics are showing that we're not improving safety, that the inconvenience, that the descent in wintry conditions, we have a commitment from our incredible public works to do extra special during winter conditions, so that angle is, I went up and down 5 times and saw that angle. You have true concerns about the angle on Argyle when it's icy and to have to be driving down. We believe with the experts, the traffic experts, that we can improve the situation. I just wanted to again end with improving safety for the school zones, reducing vehicle conflicts, reducing through traffic on these residential streets. We looked at, we have great ideas about perhaps resident parking only, The school was very, very generous to the mayor and said, you know, our teachers park there. Maybe we'll get the teachers to park somewhere else to open it up for resident parking. We will do what it takes to make it work. And I just wanted to shout out to say that I thank you very much from the bottom of my heart for all the work that and the great comments you gave. If you go on the website, 145 questions, and then, as the mayor said, they're answered. You may not like all the answers, but the traffic engineers have looked at them. Encore une fois, merci beaucoup.
Thank you. Anything else? Councillor Levine.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. In the early hours of June 5th, 2026, Temple Emmanuel Beth Shalom in Westmount was the target of an attempted arson attack. According to police reports, a suspect allegedly broke a window and attempted to ignite a fire at the synagogue. Emergency responders acted quickly. The fire was contained. No injuries were reported, and damage to the building was limited. The incident nevertheless caused significant concern within the Jewish community and among Westmount residents. The attack followed other recent incidents targeting Jewish institutions and raised broader concerns regarding community safety and anti-Semitism. On June 26, 2026, Mayor Michael Stern wrote to Montreal Mayor Soraya Martinez Ferrada on behalf of the City of Westmount to express the city's deep concern following the incident. In the letter, the mayor noted that while the investigation remained ongoing, the event had generated significant and legitimate concerns among residents and community institutions. He emphasized the importance of ensuring the safety of community institutions, particularly with the approaching school year and the upcoming high holidays. Mayor Stern requested any observations or analysis that Montreal could provide regarding public safety measures and asked to be kept informed of any initiatives or coordinated efforts intended to reassure and protect the community. Copies of the letter were provided to Anna Gainey, MP for NDG Westmount, and Jennifer Macaron, MNA for Westmount St. Louis.
Thank you. Councillor Kez.
Yeah, I just want to let you know that the Public Safety Department has hired 4 new bike patrollers who will be biking on our roads and our lanes. I know a particular area, being Hallowell, Columbia, Bruce, they've had some safety concerns, so these patrollers, thankfully, will be biking around there. Also, Public Safety has also engaged 6 new park cadets to keep their eyes on the park, so eyes are on the ground, so this is a good thing, and I want to let you know. Thank you.
Thank you. Before we go to question period, I want to say 2 other things. First of all, looking at the work that went on in the Argyle file, even if you don't like the results, I could tell you the administration worked very hard. There's an awful lot of work. The administration here does an awful lot of work on everything. Everything is very complicated. All situations are looked at in detail, and we are briefed, the mayor is briefed, and depending what the issue is, council as well, and we really appreciate all the hard work of the administration, so thank you on that. And I do want to mention there was a funeral today, and as you well know, of Constable Mohammed Ben Redouane, who was killed, as you know, in the shooting. It was the first time in 24 years that a police officer died in the line of duty in the city of Montreal. The funeral was downtown at the Bell Centre, and our thoughts are really with the family. It's an unfortunate event, and we hope this never happens again. So thank you. And I guess we go to first question period.
I was born the 21st of March, so it's the first day of the Aries.
What's your name, sir?
My name is Victor Yelverton Haynes, 2. I live at 4729 Boulevard de Maisonneuve.
Yes.
Forget that number, it's a prime number. So my question is brief, but I would ask your permission for a 2-minute preamble. My brief question is whether you have considered that idea that I present in the preamble. So the preamble is, I kind of hate to say it because it's been kicked around a lot, the idea of soccer pitches. I have a kind of bucolic idea of what might happen in Westmount. But there is a threat that we will have, as I read excellent letters in the Westmount Independent about this subject, that there are very good reasons for having an artificial turf and very good reasons for not having one. My idea that I haven't heard expressed before is that there may be a synthesis of these recently 4 great letters. And that would be, I asked my son, who has a successful lawn care company, what about it? And he said, well, it should be like the Americans. They all have a pitch, a natural pitch in their town. Each town in America, but they have a very expensive professional looking after it. The next time I spoke to him, he said, yeah, well, but Dad, they have 3 or 4 different pitches.
Can you ask the question, because if you don't mind, what is your question, please?
You understand my idea? Look, if I talk about it, maybe after I've heard myself, I'll understand what I mean. But I have about, give me 20 seconds to finish up. This idea of having a rotation of soccer fields that are natural seems to address many concerns. There are many more, I guess, if you discuss the idea. So might you discuss it in council?
Okay.
Did
Did you understand, Councillor Lapointe? What was the question?
Yeah, you're just referring to a rotation of using the fields
That's right.
rotatively.
If one field is damaged through play,
I can answer that. We have 4 soccer pitches in major parks in Westmount, and they're all used profusely. We have so many people using them all the time, and if we close them down and use them only on a rotation basis, we won't be able to supply the demand.
my idea is you could have 5, and
Where?
Where?
well, there's King George Park, and you could make this is something that you experts can look at. Is there really no more room for a soccer pitch? And when you close them, I'm not saying that you close them all down, but when people play on it and you have a very expert person looking after the davits and picking up pieces of sod that have been damaged, then you put it out to pasture for 10 days, or you inform all the players, and they don't use that.
Well, I know
pitch.
what we're looking at is keeping our soccer field maybe as natural grass and looking for an artificial turf site. So I don't know if there's anything else to say at this point. No. Thank you very much for your comments. Thank you.
You have the idea of crop
Yes.
rotation.
Yes.
Of course. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening.
Thank you.
Good evening, Cynthia
evening.
Lellum. My comments, questions are about bylaw 1662. First of all, I've never seen this many people in this chamber in July,
So we're not voting on 1662 today.
so I heard. I'm very happy. But my comment, I came up anyway, because I'd already heard that. When I was on council for 26 years under 3 mayors, we had a policy in July of not passing major objects or bylaws during that time because a lot of people are away and on vacation. And I thought as a new mayor, you might not be aware of this policy, but it was very successful and it gendered a lot of trust from our residents. We generally did all the necessary road and those type of tenders, adoption. And we always bought sand in the summer
So what is your question,
so
please?
that was my comment.
Okay.
And then my other question was, in removing it, has it been considered to put it you've already accepted an RFP at looking at the guidelines to have it put under
Correct.
that
Yes.
study. That's where it should be.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for your
And
comments.
is that what you're going to do?
We haven't decided yet. We're still looking at it. We've taken everyone's comments into consideration, and we're still looking at it. So thank you.
Thank you.
I wasn't aware that in July, we don't really pass many things, but we don't
Not
close down.
controversial things.
We
You
don't
don't
close
shut-
down. We have a big agenda. We have a lot of things to get done.
You have many things
The
you
city
can buy.
doesn't sleep.
No.
We're
but-
working for
but
you.
not controversy.
Thank you.
Hello.
Hi.
My name is Heather Black, 50 Academy, and I've met many of you on my park tours, and I wanted to extend an invitation. I did by email. Hopefully you got it. My park tour this time will be on how we can save money, with proper or use of native plants. So, and my other suggestion was for a cultural landscape committee. We're very fortunate here in Westmount to be part of the Westmount District National Historic Site of Canada. So we have both obligations and ways to follow through with planting schemes that are both sustainable economically as well as environmentally. So my first question is for Councillor Aronson, whether he'd be willing to sit down and we discuss the creation of a cultural landscape citizens group, which could use
So that sounds like a good idea. We'll discuss that first with the administration
okay.
and see, but for sure that seems to make sense.
Okay, that would be great.
Did you send
And-
us an email? Because your name's familiar. I may have got
Yes,
an
yes,
email
I
yesterday
sent you
or
an email today.
Thank you.
And and my other comment was the 60, I mentioned you're able to save 60% of park on expenses for plants. That is a research number, and it comes from using native plants.
Okay.
So we also might want to have a citywide directive to help promote native plants in our parks. Perhaps.
Thank you. I don't know if there's anything you can send in to that.
Yes.
Provide some information. We'll definitely follow that up with you.
Yes, I hope many of you can take me up on the park tour.
Yeah, sounds interesting.
And afterwards, I'll take your comments and I will send a report. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Hello.
Hi, Penny Arsenault, 4700 St. Catherine. My voice is coming out a little weird. So I'm going to get a little bit wordy, I'm afraid, but I'll put my question up front. Oh, first of all, I wanted to congratulate Susan, your wife. I heard recently she raised $9 million at the gala towards environmental research, so I think that's fantastic.
Thank you. Thank you.
And I think it makes a nice segue into what I'm about to talk about. I had already sent this email to Sean Moss about artificial turf. So my question is, will you consider what I'm about to read? I'm just going to read it out to you. It obviously wasn't taken any further since you all seem to be unanimous on the artificial turf. I hope you've considered some of the following. So, Councillor Moss, it seems it was since apparently the council is unanimous. I'm sorry. Okay, it's inconceivable to me that 40,000 pounds of plastic covering made up to cover a currently green space at the expense of 20 mature trees at least would still be even a thought in this day and age when you can't bring a plastic bag to the grocery store or drink through a straw.
So I agree with you, and we've asked the administration to look at alternatives. I'm sure that there are
have more.
alternatives that are not plastic.
Yeah, okay, I have more. I think we should also remember that the artificial turf industry is the people we've entrusted our kids to for decades while they used recycled tires with every single heavy metal you can imagine in there. So these are the people you're trusting to tell you how environmentally friendly they are. I'm just going to skip to my list because I will send you this email as well. There are articles to back up everything I say, but I'll give you just
I
bullet
appreciate
points.
that. Thank you.
Installing artificial turf will always include removing natural green space to replace it with acres of plastic. Below that, there are layers of polyethylene, polyurethane. It renders the area off limits for all the other public, right? It's out of the public hands now. It's only going to be for soccer players. So you're taking away green space from the public. Runoff water from artificial turf contains PFAs, as the blades are coated in it to give it the right texture. It isn't as good as natural areas as absorbing rainwater. It's been shown that it doesn't absorb the same way.
You know, it sounds like you've done a lot of research. Send it to us, please, because the administration is looking at alternatives, and we will take into consideration everything you're saying, and we will get back to you
But-
once we explore the alternatives.
Okay, I'm just asking if you'll consider all these commercial things. Plastic turf has an 8 to 10 year average lifespan, after which it has to be rolled up and sent to land waste. It's not recyclable. None of it is recyclable. In 8 to 10 years, it means you have to repurchase 2 acres of plastic, polyethylene, polyurethane. You have to do, and you have to transport. Let me just see what it is. I think it's 40,000 pounds. Just the transport itself is an ecological disaster. The industry will tell you now that they're putting in natural infill, which is true. They're using coconut dust. It blows away at a tremendous rate.
Okay.
It also has to be treated with fungicides and antibacterial things. So you have to wash it because it doesn't grow out. So the kids sweat and they get injured and the birds poop on it. It
can't
loses a
answer
lot of
you.
water.
I
No,
hear
I know.
you.
I just want to. I know you can't. You can't.
Because we care about this, and we are going to research. I haven't done any research on it. The administration will, but if you send them that checklist, that awesome checklist that you prepared,
I know.
we
One
will
more
look at
thing,
all.
because a lot of the people going for it are people who have kids in soccer. It's just I wanted to point out that the U.S. national ladies team has sued to be able to play on natural turf because artificial turf has been proven to cause 14% extra injuries. So that's also a consideration. Also, it has a heat island effect, obviously. Playing on a hot plastic field in 40-degree temperature would not be very fun for anybody. So
Thank you. We take it very seriously. We will
I'll send you the
do our
email.
research with that help.
for being so wordy, I
Thank
just had a
you.
lot to
No,
get
no,
in.
that's fine. Thank you.
Okay, I'm going to have to tiptoe even more, probably. No, I'm not sure. Oh, yeah, I guess I'm supposed to introduce myself again. I'm Elizabeth Warkentin at 48 Academy. Okay, so I wanted to talk to you about the park and that actually the current condition or the state of the park and how it affects Westmounters and the ducks and other wildlife like squirrels and insects and other animals who make their home in the park. So anyone who's been to Westmount Park in recent summers, especially this summer, they've likely noticed that it's terribly overcrowded. I mean, I haven't counted, but I haven't been around with a counter, but there are more, it seems there are more and more people, more and more families. Every summer, there are more and more non-Westmounters, I believe, coming to Westmount Park. This probably started around, I'd say, with COVID. So we got a lot of people starting to come here at that point, but it seems to have worsened. I mean, I go for walks in there quite often. I live just across the street.
What is your question?
I'm getting there.
Okay.
So anyway, there's been large picnics, parties, birthday parties, people feeding ducks inappropriate human food, well, inappropriate food in general, people harassing the ducks, kids especially chasing, scaring the ducks, throwing rocks at them, etc., and a lot of the parents not saying anything. So the situation, I think, has become so untenable, so unpleasant that, I mean, I don't think I'm speaking just for myself here, but a lot of Westmounters, I think, don't feel like they can go to the Westmount Park anymore. not only because of the crowds and the crowds are also
What do you think we should do?
producing a lot of trash
So
there.
what do you think we should do?
And messing up the pond. I've taken photos of the pond in recent days, actually twice in the last 2 days. Exactly the same, where those big.
What do you think we should do?
Well, that's what I'm here to ask you. Why is there so much garbage in the pond, especially around those, whatever you call those big metal things, the generators? I don't know what they are. You know, so the ducks basically are swimming in a shallow artificial pond surrounded by trash. And, you know, there's people like myself and Heather and Penny and some others of us who have been trying
let me
to
answer
ask
your
people
question.
to please not feed the ducks, not harass them. So my question now, since you seem to be in quite a bit of a rush, well, and also, some of these citizens, it should not fall on citizens to go and rescue dead or injured ducks.
Okay, let me answer your question.
What is the city of Westmount planning to do? Are you planning to clean up some of the garbage? Will you hire rangers, as has been proposed, I think more than once? How can we be letting this happen? Maybe we should be removing some of those picnic tables. There are just too many people.
Okay, let me answer your question. So I don't mean to rush you, but we have a big agenda and there's a lot of people with questions. So, but it's an issue. So I myself have noticed there's a lot of people use the park. So we should be flattered in a way that I'm sure people are coming from far outside Westmount say, man, this is a good place. Let's have a picnic here. Let's have a birthday party. A few people suggested to me, can we limit the parks to Westmounters only? You have to show a pass. I don't think that's legal. Westmounters can go to any other park. So what we have to do is, the administration already knows, and we'll look at it again. We talked about this at Public Works the other day. We should be collecting, and we do collect the garbage rather frequently, especially on a nice day. With regards to the ducks are a special issue. The City of Montreal dictated that we have to pay our part, do our part, and reduce water consumption. And the first thought was that we weren't allowed even to fill the pond. But we asked for, the administration asked for, and good thing they did, and got special dispensation that we are allowed to fill the pond with water. The ducks are being watched. We have public security there. We'll look at it again to make sure that public security there is often enough. I know there was a situation of a dead duck the other day that nobody took care of right away. You know, just call public security.
private
We're going to
resident
do
took
our
care.
best to be there more often, and we'll see. And if that doesn't
beg
work,
to differ
we'll have to
about-
assign somebody to be there more regularly. And
I'm
that's
sorry,
really
but
the
I beg to
solution.
differ about public
So
security.
Thank you.
They're never around. You never see them near the pond.
Your point is well
I've seen them in a car giving tickets. That I see.
Thank you.
Parking.
We're trying our best and we'll do better. Thank you.
Hi, quick question. Diana Anderson. I've been here before. I live on St. Catherine between Claremont and the Glen. We are about to start resurfacing work, quite extensive, 3 months worth, and reconstruction of sidewalks. As you know, the old houses are built on the sidewalk. We don't have much of a setback. To date, I've received, as well as my neighbors, and one of them has sent a question in online to the same effect, nothing in my mailbox to say when the work will start, how long it will last, and what I will do with this on my leg for 3 months where I cannot walk, carry groceries. So when can we expect an outline of how residents will be affected by this and the mitigating efforts that will be in place for garbage?
I think we're voting on this tonight, no? On this, the mandate hasn't been given out, the contract hasn't been given out.
It was on the list of repairs.
Presumably, we're voting on it tonight, and we are very, Westmount is unique in the sense that we are very careful to advise our residents and help them wherever necessary. You know, we had one street we're being fixed, and there's an elderly 85-year-old man says, "How you got to help me get to my appointments," and we're helping him. So we help people, and we will do so. But we couldn't advise anyone because the contract is not yet approved. But it will be hopefully today, and we will get back to you.
It's in 2 weeks. It's supposed to start, 2 or 3.
Yeah.
Okay. If you could
Or
try
3.
to put something in our mailboxes or email us or just help us figure out how to
Okay.
manage life for 3 months, we'd appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi.
Hi.
My name is Sheila. I live on Côte Saint Antoine. I'm a CPA auditor and also a mom of 2 kids. This is my first time attending a council meeting, so I did a little reading beforehand and learned that some of the mission of the council includes promoting initiatives that protect the health and safety of the community and fostering opportunities to encourage young families to establish themselves in the community. On those particular council commitments, I have 2 questions regarding the one and only public pool in Westmount, and I thank the council for allowing me to present both of those questions. The first one is, it's hot, and it's only getting hotter. The effects of climate change are well known, along with the health and safety impacts people face in the high heat. Cooling off in a public pool within the safety of a community space is certainly an effective way to mitigate the risk that comes along with especially hot days that we experienced so far this season. So my first question, on a hot summer day when the outdoor temperature with humidex is expected to exceed, say, 35 degrees, and especially when there is a government warning, would the council agree that it is in the best interest of the health and safety of the community to A, announce that the one and only public pool in Westmount is available for general swim all day, and B, for the official announcement to be made by 7 a.m. that day in order to allow for both the staff and users of the pool to adjust their schedule change accordingly? So that's my first question. Now my second question, from Monday through Friday, the pool and splash pad are not accessible at all to little children and families until 12:15 p.m. Between lap swim, senior swim, master swim, aquafit, and dolphins, zero availability for kids until 12:15. I will also remind the council that at 12:15, the splash pad is accessible to small kids, but the pool remains only accessible to adults. Children can finally access the pool at 1 p.m. In addition, 5 days per week, that's Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, the afternoon and evening general swim block is bizarrely interrupted by a 45-minute of adult swim period at 6:30 p.m. Children must clear out at 6:30, but can then return 45 minutes later. Younger children, particularly those under the age of 6, are typically up for the morning around 7 or 8 a.m. They often nap for a few hours in the afternoon, and then they go to sleep around 7 or 8 p.m. Older children may not nap, but wake and bedtimes are similar to little kids. My point is that the current pool schedule prioritizes a very small group of users. It does not align with the typical schedule of children, and it certainly does not optimize the use of this very limited community resource. So my second question for the council is, would the council agree that the following would better accommodate the nature and schedule of young families in Westmount? A, allowing young children to access the splash pad at any time of day. B, modifying the pool schedule to add access to the pool during weekdays for young children in the morning. And C, shifting the evening adult swim time slot from 6:15 p.m. to 8:15 p.m.
Yeah. So I couldn't comprehend all of that. I get the idea what you're saying. First of all, I've heard this before, that some people have said our schedule maybe is a bit too strict. It's not ideal for families. So we certainly should look into that. I don't know if Mr. Lapointe wants to answer this now, or if you could send us your email with those specific details. We'll definitely look at it and get back to you with a view of how we can better accommodate younger families.
I understand it's a very specific question. I would be happy to send the email, but I would request that either the councillor or the interim director general provide a commitment on timing with regards to their consideration.
The season is short. We'll get back to you soon.
Well, I prefer more objective
You know where to
guideline.
reach us?
I know where to reach you, but can we
Okay.
say like a week? Is that asking too much? Because like you said, we only have 6 weeks left in the regular
Yes.
season unless it's
Mr.
extended to
Lapointe.
labor.
Don't want to put you on the hot
I
seat.
will commit to give you an answer, absolutely. But I cannot commit to making any changes.
I completely understand that part, but I would just appreciate a response and maybe, what's been put into consideration.
I think we should look at how we can accommodate.
I can talk to you about the schedule for hours.
Oh, I'm sure.
Hours.
I'm
and I
sure.
can talk to you.
I've heard it's
And I can
legendary.
talk, yeah, absolutely. And I can tell you about any kind of change that we make, the opposite question and the opposite complaint is going to come back to us. So we base the schedule based on all the users in the city, those that want things and those that don't want things. And so that's it.
I mean, given that it's the
It's
one and only, I
very
think
difficult.
optimization is critical. And as a CPA auditor, that's one of my areas of expertise, along with risk and, risk being including environmental. So yes, I'd be happy to discuss this further with you.
Sure.
Thank you.
Makes sense. So we will thank you for those comments. We will take them seriously and see what we can do. Thank you. What was your name again?
What was your name?
What was your name? Sheila. Côte Saint-Antoine. Okay. Oui, monsieur.
Good evening, Mayor Stern. Mario Lecaldare from 308 Grosvenor, and this is with respect to the noise disturbance at 245
Oh,
Victoria.
I forgot to talk about that.
You did.
I forgot I have a whole...
You did talk about it. No. I wanted to thank you for talking about it.
Talk about it?
Yeah, you did. You did mention it.
Oh, yeah, okay.
No,
It's
you
been
did.
a long day. It's been a long day.
It's quite all right. So maybe I should ask that, the residents who are impacted by this
Yes.
probably should stand so that they be recognized that I'm not speaking for
No,
myself.
I know. It's a very serious issue to us as well. It's very frustrating, and I hope we have a resolution imminent.
Well, let me say that this temporary equipment was installed May 1st. We're now 68 days into that temporary equipment. We're in the middle of summer. This is not something that's going to be, we want resolved November 15th or January 15th. We want to be able to enjoy our backyards. I'd like to have a barbecue. I'd like to have some friends over for drinks. Like every Westmounter, we can't. And to this day, we still cannot. So what I would like from you, Mayor Stern, is very simple. What is your timeline to these residents and myself to have the noise disturbance resolved? Not from them.
No.
The city.
To me, this has gone on too long, franchement. I went there myself today, early afternoon. I was in the back. I hear a hum. Not all that pleasant, but it's not all that loud either. But we have laws, and the laws are certain decibels. I don't have the equipment to measure it. And we have professionals, independent engineers or acoustic engineers are supposed to give us a report this week or next. And they think it's resolved, but I don't know. And if not, they're going to recommend immediately additional baffles or something. But we're involved, the administration involved, and this is important to me on your behalf as well.
Mayor Stern, I appreciate it, but let me give you the answer.
Okay.
At 6 o'clock this evening, no traffic. I went with my little decibel reading at the property limit of my neighbor at 302 Grosvenor. 6 o'clock, 60 decibels, 10 decibels above what is permitted by law. And you understand that decibel readings are logarithmic. This is not just a 20%, this is multiples. And Mayor Stern, you were there for 5 minutes?
Yes.
We're there 12 hours a day, 7 o'clock in the morning till 7 o'clock at night. I do not understand why the city is so complacent and why are you negotiating with these people? Well, this is a delinquent organization. And I've brought some proof here, which I'm going to deliver here to.
Please do.
These people have been from the Government of Canada in 2015 and 2000. You're going to love this one. This is a beauty. They were fined $125,000 for not complying with an environmental compliance order for PCB-laden transformer. They were fined because they didn't respect an order that they were given. So they had to pay the $75,000 fine, another fine of $40,000 for not complying, and then they had to remove the equipment. This is on Côte de l'Est. This is another one here.
Okay,
another,
I hear you.
But no, you have to listen
like
to this.
they're not good corporate citizens.
They're
what
not.
you're telling me.
And this other one here, this is the Attorney General versus Shapiro, Jerry Shapiro and Mark Schneiderman. They paid a $20,000 fine on which building? 245 Victoria, because they were using PCBs. So PCBs is a toxic material,
It's
carcinogenic.
not allowed anymore.
And of course, they're not allowed, but they failed to report for 7 years. And then they were pursued by the government. They admitted to fault and guilt. These are the people that you're negotiating with. Why is the city negotiating? They're contravening a bylaw. If I, as a resident, was contravening a bylaw, you would have shut me down. Shut the equipment down. It's their problem.
I don't know if we can do that. We have to hire a lawyer. We have to go to court. But, we're prepared to do that if necessary.
Well, listen. Clearly, you're dealing with, as I say, I have reached out, and I'm going to table this. I've reached out in 2 separate emails to the executives of the Shapiro Group, and I'm going to table this with you, a very polite letter suggesting, gentlemen, we would appreciate some just civic duty. Reach out to us as residents. Please tell us what your action plan is. Please tell us what you intend on doing. And you know what? You might actually garner some sympathy. And you know what we got, Mr. Mayor Stern? We got the finger. We got missing in action, not even an acknowledgement that of a simple request to sit down and talk to your neighbors. And here we have the city of Westmount negotiating with these people, trying to get to an agreement. Why are you
Well,
doing
we're not
this?
negotiating, we're telling them they have to do, anyway,
Well,
let's see,
but
we'll
then-
know in the next couple days, we'll know in the next couple days.
What is your commitment for a date? We want to know because we're in the middle of summer.
I know.
Can you give us a date?
They cannot be allowed to violate the noise bylaws, and then we'll have to look at if they're not able to correct it, we have to see what legal action we can take. I can go back, we're here now, I know we've been very involved, I'm involved now, I appreciate that.
Telling you for 60 days that the noise is
So certainly,
And
I hear you. I can't go back 60 days, I didn't know it's 60 days, we'll take care of it.
Mayor Stern, it's appreciated. But here's what maybe can I make a suggestion for you and the city?
Yes.
We have reached out in writing. We have called, and you know what? These are your own words, your own guidelines. We will give you a 48-hour turnaround. I have yet to see a single reply from any city official working to say, we acknowledge receipt of your email. We're working on this. Here's what we've done, and here's what our plan. Not even the courtesy of a reply from the people who are supposed to work for us.
So-
Not single one, except two people, Councillor Moss, who has replied, and this morning, the first phone call I got, and I want to at least congratulate somebody from the administration, is the lady who's in charge of, relations with the pop, she's in charge of public, yes.
Yes, okay.
So nice to have a conversation. And you know what her answer was? She was surprised that I wasn't aggressive or loud or said, we're not here. Says, we're on your side. Let us help you. But do not work with an organization that in fact is not a good corporate citizen. And you know what? I'm not inventing this. These are facts. These are facts.
Anyway, it's not acceptable. I can't tell you more than this. I'm expecting we're going to have a resolution in the next few days, and if we don't, this is.
And I know your point
I
about.
spoke to them today, and they told me that they thought that they were at 52 decibels, but they were taking readings.
Okay, well, 62 is
52, but
52.
I think it was
No.
52. That's what they
And
told
your
me.
bylaws have what's called la pondération.
Yeah.
If something is going on for 12 hours, you add.
Yes.
There's a penalty. So this is not just a few
Here.
minutes in the hour.
We will take care of it. I don't know what else to tell you now. I can't answer it better than that, other than our commitment to do something. I hear you. I went myself to hear the noise myself.
May I make a suggestion? Because you have a good point about legal proceedings. Mayor Stern, why are you not sending your public security every single day to take a decibel reading? It's pretty simple. Every single day, send public security. If they're above, issue a fine. Have you issued fines? Have you fined this company? Because from what I get, you're still considering fining them. I cannot believe that you're not fining this company. By your bylaw, you can charge $4,000 every time. Well, you know what? That's going to help the city coffers. 30 days of non-compliance is $120,000. You know what? That's going to focus the mind of the people at Shapiro. Let it go on for 2 months, that's $250,000. They're not complying. And
Makes sense.
basically,
Makes sense.
they're making a mockery. They're making a mockery of the city, but of all the people here. And this is not, Mayor Stern, I voted for you. I voted for you because you said you were the mayor who took action, you were the mayor who was decisive, you were the mayor, and I love that, but this is not what we're getting.
I hear you, I hear you. I can't say any more at this point. I don't know if you have anything to add at this point. I know public security does go there every day. I don't know if we're able to take readings. But
should,
we're
they
going to get from an independent acoustic engineer imminently. So I hear you. You're saying beware the not great corporate citizen. Thank you.
Here's a little information for you for your public security, because I've called them. I said, can you please send somebody, your specialist, Monsieur Bouchard? Well, she said, well, I'm sorry, because Mr. Bouchard is on night shift. Well, I says, well, that's very convenient. This very equipment operates during the day. And this is what I was told, but not over. Oh, I said, well, when can you send them? Well, you know, they work 7-day shifts, and then he's off for 6 days. So are you telling me that you are not going to, the city of Westmount cannot take a decibel reading for 13 days? And you have one person, you have one individual who can take a decibel? I said, that is not possible. That is not the city of Westmount. I said, send somebody else. I said, we can't. It's a little meter. I said, God, just, train somebody else. What if urban planning, what if there's an emergency?
You bring up very valuable information that I wasn't aware of.
Listen, I didn't know. Mayor Stern, I mean,
Thank
we're in shock just as you, but this is what I was told. I hope it's not true. But I said, if you can't take a decibel reading, how can you issue a fine?
If I may, a decibel reading is not just a machine. It's a huge calculation, and I know that there's only one person in the Public Security Department who is able to do that calculation. I know it sounds silly, but
that's exactly what I was told.
Because I asked.
But that's what was told. So that person is off, that person is sick, that person on vacation. What does the city do? You cannot operate a city like that.
No. Anyway, I hear you. There's outside engineers if we need. Anyway, I hear you. We will take care of it.
Mayor Stern, outside engineers. I'm sorry, you're relying on the fox to protect the hen house and to tell you that the chickens are safe, or what?
Independent engineers.
They're paid for by Stern. Why don't you have yours?
Yes.
Why are you relying on them? I mean, they have lied to us.
You made your point. I hear you, and I feel for you, and we're going to do something about it. Thank you.
Mayor, we don't want to come back.
I don't want you to come back.
I want to come back next month to thank you.
You can come back anytime to say you love me. I don't want you to have to come back to complain about this. Thank you.
Thank you. So I'm going to table this here so that you can, right here.
Next.
Right here.
Hi, Cheryl Shinfield. I live at 59 Thornhill.
59, yes.
I'm speaking on behalf of not just myself, but also my neighbors. We have major concerns around the Safe Route to Schools project.
Okay.
I did have a long preamble, which is now not necessary because I'm very glad to hear that the traffic is now only going to be southbound from Thornhill.
Correct.
But I still have concerns because, as do all our neighbors whom none of us have spoken to or heard from Councillor Shammy. So I'm assuming he has spoken to people on Argyle, but not to people on Thornhill, who are also going to be very impacted as a narrow street by much more through traffic. And what we were wondering is, currently street parking is not allowed on the east side of Argyle during part of the year. Why cannot, as a first pilot project, that become a full-time option to see if that mitigates the situation at all, creating 2 lanes of traffic, north and south, keeping 1 lane of parking, prior to invoking any costs or making any major changes.
We looked at that, actually.
Argyle.
We looked at that, removing parking, thought it would be good, but for what we've seen, believe it or not, the fact that their parked cars do help things. There's a lot of people, you would not believe it, who drive on the sidewalks.
Oh, I've seen that.
So
there's
we
also
figured
people that don't stop at the stop
according to
signs.
the experts, it might be safer to keep the cars parked there. But we will continue, like we said, we're going to monitor very carefully the impact on other streets, and we were thinking about Thornhill, among others.
We are concerned about the additional traffic on Thornhill. The other, in tandem with that, is was there any study done to confirm the current traffic situation and whether it was made worse by the reduction in pickup drop-off capacity resulting from the ongoing construction work at Selwyn House? Because it seems all pickup and drop-off and all traffic now is on Argyle and nothing is on Côte Saint Antoine anymore. That project has been going on for over a year.
Yeah, it's supposed to, all that stuff's coming down next week, the headmaster told me.
Okay,
even
so
this
they
week.
will, but has that
We don't know.
construction had any impact on the traffic
know.
issues? Because obviously all parking, all double parking and triple parking to pick up and drop off has been taking place on Argyle for the last year.
Yeah, I don't know.
So
We
I-
will continue to
Okay,
monitor.
I am very glad to hear that the traffic now is going to at least be north and south as of Thornhill as opposed to otherwise.
Yes.
But even so, I'm just wondering if there's a possibility of
Ma'am, if
looking
I
at
can
that.
get your name, I would be very happy to come and meet you.
Cheryl
I apologize
Shinfield.
that I haven't met you, but you have my commitment to meet if I can just get your coordinates with your permission.
Absolutely. I will send them to you.
Thank you.
Hi, Mr. Mayor. Hello, Council. I'm a lifelong Westmount resident. I grew up on Victoria Avenue. I now live at 60 Columbia. I'm a volunteer coach. My name is Gabriel Flores, and I'm a volunteer coach for my son's 10-year-old boys soccer here in Westmount. I'm also a player on the over 35 team.
Thank you for your service.
And I just wanted to highlight a couple of things and tell a quick story. So the first game for the over 35s this year was April 29th. And in the first 15 minutes of the game up at King George Park, I suffered a devastating grade 2 sprain of my ankle. So I was wearing one of the boots that fellow resident was wearing for the better part of a month. The state of the field was, quite frankly, very, very rough. And, but it's not about me. It's about really the kids of Westmount. And you were very eloquent in your remarks talking about protecting our children's safety. And I'm here because the state of the fields that my kids and the kids of my neighbors and fellow residents play on are shambolic. And the truth of the matter is that we live in a city that has resources. We're very fortunate to live in a city that has resources. And we also have people that care, including yourself, Mr. Mayor. And so the reason why I'm here is I wanted to ask council, and first of all, I want to just tip my hat to you and your team at Westmount Rec. They're fantastic. They really do the best they can do with the resources they have. But I think at the end of the day, the council has an opportunity to really make a difference for our kids. And I think I speak for all Westmounters and all Canadians and the excitement that we had in seeing Team Canada do so well in the World Cup. And I think at the end of the day, it's really that's not true. And so the fact of the matter is that we have an opportunity here to make a difference for our kids. So without further ado, my question is the council seriously considering artificial turf and a renovation of the field in Westmount so that our kids and kids from neighboring boroughs coming here can play on a field without having to worry about injury and without having to worry about having problems with their long-term athletic
So the
abilities?
answer is we should have the best. I always say we should have the best of the best, and we don't.
Right.
And the issue with the soccer field, we have one soccer field, as I understand, it's the grass,
Yes.
which is not in great condition.
Yes.
There's been talk about maybe we should replace that with artificial turf, and there's a lot of opposition to that. We should leave
understand.
that and find a second location. So we're looking for a second location we talked about for artificial turf.
Right.
The question is, on that grass, what can be done to make it safer? If you said it's not even and people hurt themselves, I don't know, I asked the administration, I don't know if, Mr. Lapointe, you want to answer that? Does the grass need any work, or do you want to take it under advisement and get back to them?
I mean, to my knowledge as well, I don't even think the sprinkler system works, and I don't think it's ever really worked, because I've never seen a sprinkler on that field.
It's also heavily used,
That's
I must
right.
point
Well,
out.
exactly. That's
Good
the
thing.
whole issue with the fields is the overuse of the fields.
Right.
We have a staff all summer long that goes there every day, each park every day, filling holes, making this field as best we can. But it's overused. A natural field can only take 16 to 18 hours a week. We use it 50 plus every single field.
Really?
So it's impossible. You can't as the old expression goes, you can't, what's the expression? You can't grow grass on the grass doesn't, or moss doesn't grow on a rolling stone or whatever, but that's what it is. It's constantly used, so you can't keep grass on it. It's just the way it is.
So maybe that'll be alleviated when we have an artificial turf. Is there?
So I just want to, in the interest of time for my fellow citizens, I prepared a few mock-ups.
Okay.
So that it can help jog your imaginations on what it could look like. So I would respectfully submit this to council so that you can
Absolutely.
take a look and maybe
Absolutely,
feel
and
inspired.
thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Forty-two minutes already, okay.
Hi, Karen Beaulieu, 306 Grosvenor. I'm part of the Grosvenor Group. Before I ask my question, I do have to thank our neighbor Mario, who's worked tirelessly for the whole Grosvenor Group. Thank you, Mario. I asked a question last month at this meeting that was not answered because I think no one knew the answer. So I'm going to ask it again because maybe you do know the answer. And I think you might have partly answered it when Mario was speaking. My question was, once you receive the reports, and it is proven that the company is contravening noise bylaws, does the City of Westmount have the ability to shut the HVAC down? Or do you still need to consult with your lawyers and decide what you're going to do?
I didn't know. I asked myself that today, and I don't know the answer.
Okay.
But we're looking at it. I didn't want to. I hope we don't get to that. But I've asked myself that question today. We've been busy. We will be looking at that.
Okay,
That's
because
a
we're
very
quite
good
sure they are,
question.
and they're running 7 days a week. So we know Sunday already is a problem. So if there's no answer, then I'll be back next month and I'll ask
Okay.
again.
Well, we're going
What
to solve
can the
this.
city do?
We want to solve this problem well before that.
What
Thank
can
you.
the city actually do to take
I
action?
don't know. We will find out.
I'll be back.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you. Monsieur Janson.
Mayor Stern, all councillors, good evening. My name is François Janson. I've been living on Argyle for 25 years, living and working on Argyle, for 15 of those 25 years. So I'm intimately familiar with the Argyle traffic situation, believe me, to the point that sometimes I had to get out of my house and, regulate traffic because it was just a mess. What do you think, what do people in this room think is the single most pressing issue to deal with? Is it speed? Is it, an injury of a children? Is it congestion, maybe, at certain time of the day?
All
I
of
think
the above. It's
a lot of the people will actually think it's congestion, I think.
It's probably all of the above.
Yes, but if we take congestion, which I believe respectfully in 25 years is probably the single most pressing issue, I am totally flabbergasted by what I heard tonight. Why? The city did a traffic impact assessment. I looked at Anthropic and I brought up a checklist of what a city should do today, a well-run city should do today before it implements traffic changes. It includes a traffic impact assessment, so I commend the city for doing one. Then I said to myself, well, let's read what it says. Well, what it says is basically that if Argyle is made one way, the traffic is going to be downgraded to an F at the intersection of Argyle and Côte-Saint-Antoine, or Argyle and Sherbrooke. From memory, a D at the intersection of Argyle and Côte-Saint-Antoine, and I think a E at the intersection of Kensington and CSA. I respectfully submit as a lawyer that the record to justify a decision to make this street one way, where there has been absolutely no accident that I've seen, that I've heard about in 25 years, is totally inexistent. Absolutely inexistent. To the contrary, if I was sitting at this council, I would demand that, in fact, a study be done on how to deal with this downgrade before anything is done, because the record doesn't justify your decision. I mean, I'm a lawyer, if I was advising a client, I would tell him, don't do it. Do more study, build a record, then do it. But don't do it today on the basis of what the record says. It's almost as if you said, okay, I'm going to talk to expert, I'm going to follow their advice. You said you paid attention to expert, and I commend you for that. That's the way it should be done. But your experts, Mr. Mayor, are telling you this is the bad thing to do. Have you looked at the report? Read it. If you're a reasonable guy like me, you're
I looked at a 122-page report, but anyway, I don't know, this is it.
It doesn't justify the decision. So, you know what you
have
should, I mean, I'm sorry, I'll just finish my point. What I would do is I would ask Auger to actually give me a memo to explain to me why he thinks that it makes sense to disagree with the expert. But that should be his job, not your job. Your job is to be accountable to us and to explain to us why you make the decision against the expert advice. So I'm flabbergasted because I don't think that's democracy. The minimum, and I looked at this with an open mind, taking sort of a professional integrity approach. The record doesn't justify your decision. I think it's dismal. It's disrespectful of the citizen. Thank you.
I appreciate your comments. Thank you.
Hi, Mayor Stern. Brad White, 429 Argyle. I'm also speaking on the issue, and I'll keep it.
I just want to say that'll have to be the last question. We'll go to the second question period because we have a big agenda. I'm sorry, if things to get done.
Okay, well, I'm sorry to be taking the last question because I was going to say you're probably going to hear a lot more about this. You've already heard a lot about it tonight, so I'm going to keep it short and sweet. First of all, I commend everybody's concern for childhood safety. I have a 21-month-old. All of our neighbors have kids. I don't think we can hide behind child safety on this. It's obviously important, but that doesn't mean that the solution that you guys have chosen is the right solution or the most pragmatic solution. My question, very specifically, is I realize you spoke to the headmaster recently. I won't speak on behalf of the headmaster or the school, but I spoke to him last week, and as far as he told me, nobody in the past few years has consulted the school on this issue or asked them for their proposed solution. There may have been some quick questions 3 years ago, but he was not spoken to about this. My question is this not some sort of failing in the process where Selwyn House, which is at the epicenter of all of this, nobody bothered to stop and have a proper conversation with them about proposed solutions? The other thing I would add to that is you mentioned that Selwyn House had very graciously offered a bunch of measures that could help the situation. And I just want to make sure that that's not mischaracterized because it almost sounded as though they were offering to do these things in concert with your proposal or in furtherance of your proposal. Based on my conversations with the headmaster and the school, it was more of the nature, well, nobody even bothered to ask us to do these simple little things which could have resolved the problem to begin with, including teacher parking, including grade 12 parking, including having somebody out there to regulate the flow of traffic. So it just seems to me that if the headmaster was only consulted on this properly last week, after years and years and a 120-page report, and he's suggesting that there are other measures, I'm just curious why nobody would have thought to try some of these simple measures before this drastic action.
I don't know. I wasn't here before, so I don't know, but I know it's been discussed and reviewed for a long time. And I know the headmaster was met with over a month ago with detailed plans, which we showed him.
He was
and I was there at the
informed,
meeting.
not asked. He was informed of what this
I asked him if he has any other thoughts.
Well, I've had a conversation with him, and he sure seems to have other thoughts. So I suggest that instead of having a conversation with him while he's off on vacation, he's a very cooperative guy. He lives on the street.
Yeah.
I'm on the board at Selwyn House. He will do anything to make this work, but I don't think anybody has asked him, are there a few simple things that we can do to make it work before we turn the whole street plan upside down? Well, if that's inaccurate, you offered Councillor Champagne to meet with another resident. I'd love to sit down, 429 Argyle, Brad White, let's you, me, and the headmaster sit down and just figure out to what extent any of them were consulted on this or asked for their solutions versus just informed about what was going to happen. Okay.
Thank you very much. No, we have to go to our agenda. The question
I'm not
period
going
is-
to ask the question I was going to ask. I want to see if I understood. Is item 34 deleted from the agenda?
Yes.
When was it deleted? We drove in
Now.
from the township.
Before our meeting. We haven't
There are a
seen it.
whole
It will
bunch
be
of
now.
people here this evening
So
who came.
let's go on and
So
you'll hear it.
my question to you, not my scripted question, is this going to be on another agenda
have
for
to
the
wait to see.
next?
We will have to see.
Do I have to come in from the townships again then? Do the people who are
Keep you
present?
posted. We'll keep you posted.
Whoa.
It will be back. It will be back. I think they're trying to
No, we do
to
not.
hide stuff for you. It'll be back.
Councillor Moss,
It'll be back.
please. Council, let's go. Item number 4, adoption of the agenda. I call upon Councillor Shami.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I move that the agenda of the regular council sitting of July 7th be adopted with the removal of item 34. Let that be noted in the record.
Thank you. Item number 5, confirmation of minutes.
Don't we
All
have
those-
to vote on that?
Yeah. Do I have a seconder for the adoption? Councillor D'Amico, all in favor?
I'd like to propose an amendment to this
There he
agenda.
goes again.
Yeah.
Well, I'd like to propose an amendment to this agenda. I would like to keep item, I don't know the number, 34, that refers to bylaw 1662. I'd like to keep it on the agenda.
Vote no. So do I have a seconder? All in favor of that amendment? All against? So it's not carried. So that is democracy. That is democracy, ma'am. So adoption of the agenda. Do I have a seconder to the original agenda? Dr. D'Amico?
Mr. Mayor, you cannot vote unless there is a tie vote. Is there a lawyer? Yes, I am a lawyer. You cannot vote. Every time you do this, you invalidate the council's action.
The mayor is entitled to vote. Under municipal law, there are special rules. It's not Robert's Rules of Orders, yes.
Tie vote only. It's not a tie. You're like legal. You're like a chairman in a board. You can only vote in an even non-even number.
No, I can vote anytime. I don't have to, but I'm allowed to vote.
Okay, so let's go.
So adoption of the agenda, all in favor? Carried, thank you very much. Item number 5, confirmation of minutes. I call upon Councillor Shami.
Merci, Monsieur le maire. Je propose que le procès-verbal de la séance ordinaire du Conseil tenue le 2 juin 2026 soit approuvé.
Minutes moved by. Do I have a seconder? Councillor D'Amico, all in favor? Aye, carried, thank you. Correspondence. The mayor tables the following document, a list of bylaws adopted on June 18, 2026 at the ordinary meeting of the agglomeration sitting. Reports to council, item number 6.2, minutes of the General Committee of Council. Councillor Shami.
Merci, Monsieur le maire. Les procès-verbaux des rencontres du comité plénier de conseil municipal tenues le 3 février 2026, 17 février 2026, 31 mars 2026, 21 mai 2026 et 2 juin 2026 sont déposés et disponibles sur le site web de la Ville.
Thank you. Do I have a seconder? Pardon? It's just tabled, sorry. 6.3, list of duties on transfer invoices. Councillor D'Amico.
Merci, Monsieur le maire. Les listes de facturation des droits de mutation pour le mois de mai 2026 sont déposées.
Thank you. Item 6.4, list of approvals in virtue of bylaw 1507. I call upon Councillor Shami.
Merci, Monsieur le maire. Conformément au règlement 1507 sur la délégation de pouvoir à certains employés de la Ville de Westmount, la liste d'autorisation des dépenses pour le mois de mai 2026 est maintenant déposée.
Thank you. Item 6.5, workforce report. I call upon Councillor Shami.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The workforce report for the month of June 2026 is now tabled.
Thank you. 6.6, payment registry. I call upon Councillor D'Amico.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The list of payments for the month of May 2026 is tabled.
Thank you. General business and administration, item number 7, appointment Commissioner of Seniors. I call upon Councillor Shami.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Whereas council would like to appoint a Commissioner of Seniors, I move that Councillor Paul Levine be appointed as Commissioner of Seniors and that the mayor shall be an ex officio member of the commission.
Do I have a seconder? Councillor D'Amico, all in favor?
Mr. Mayor, I got a question,
Yes.
a point of information. Could we get an explanation of what exactly the mayor shall be an ex officio member of the commission means? Since a commission has to be created by bylaw or resolution, and no such commission has been created. It's not a committee. And if it were a committee, the mayor would be an ex officio member by order, by operation of law. So there's not need to be in the minutes. I don't quite understand the meaning of this line in the motion. Could we get an explanation, please?
I'm not a lawyer. Does it make a difference?
Well, yes, in theory, if we were to vote on something that just was nonsensical.
One can answer it. Anyway, we believe that seniors are a very important part, introduction. Seniors are very important to the city, and we want somebody, one of council focused to make sure that we render the best services for seniors. We hear them, we do the best thing we can. We have a volunteer, it's our job. Paul Levine offered to do it. So we're voting on appointing him as a commissioner for seniors.
Yes, and in that spirit, to make sure it's done properly and is binding, I'd like to propose an amendment to this motion to strike the nonsensical line that the mayor shall be an ex officio member of the commission. I mean,
Fine.
no
if you wanna
offense.
Take
you know,
that
but,
off. I don't know. I'm not
so
a
I
lawyer.
move. So
That's
move.
fine.
Any-
Makes you happy? Fine. All in favor?
Get it.
Seconder? Can I have a seconder? Councillor Moss, all in favor?
Aye.
Unanimously carried. Thank you very much. Number 8. Oh, sorry. All in favor?
That was the amendment is now passed, and now we vote on the motion.
Okay. So, what?
So I'm now moving that Councillor Levine be appointed as Commissioner of Seniors. Now you need
Seconder?
We could just vote. The mover and the
Just vote.
seconder are already on the record. We amended it.
Yeah.
Now we're
Just
back
needs
to the main motion. All we got to do is vote.
Just need a vote.
Yep.
Mr. Mayor,
Same as the
Mr. Mayor,
second.
I'd like to speak to the motion.
Yes.
If I may. Sorry to put the spotlight on you, Councillor Levine, but I think it's commendable that you're stepping up to take on this extremely important role. Westmount is home to a large community of seniors. I won't embarrass you by referring to your age, but I think you're uniquely qualified, I think, to represent that specific demographic. I know you're also involved with Contactivity and other resources in our community that look out for and do their best to provide services and support to seniors. So thank you.
Thank you. I lost my place, so we're done. Item number 8. We didn't vote? Vote.
Aye.
Aye. You vote yes, no?
No, now you say all opposed?
All opposed? Thank you. Item number 8, nomination Councillor Levine for the Planning and Advisory Committee. I call upon Councillor Chomsky.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Whereas the Act respecting land use, planning and development under whereas under the bylaw 1575 establishing a planning advisory committee, the said committee shall include 2 elected members of council. Whereas Councillor Moss has resigned from his position on the Urban Planning Advisory Committee, I move that Councillor Levine, it's your night, be appointed as a member of the PAC effective July 7th, 2026 for a 2-year term renewable by resolution of council.
Thank you for that. It's a lot of work. Do we have a seconder? Councillor D'Amico, all in favor?
Mr. Mayor, I'd also like to speak to this motion, if I may.
Yes.
I'd like to commend Councillor Levine for standing for this position as well. We were left without the required number of members, and after everybody had been offered the opportunity to take this role, he nonetheless, despite the substantial amount of time that is required to serve and represent residents on the Planning Advisory Committee, he has decided to do so. I also know he had shared with me that he is also already enrolled in the mandatory class that is required under the LAU to be a member of the CCU, so I know he will diligently catch up and represent council and residents to the best of his ability on the Planning Advisory Committee.
Thank you very much.
We didn't do the
seconder.
all those opposed. We already voted.
We already voted. Any opposed?
That would be me.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Item number 9, renewal of the partnership agreement with ENTREPRISES QUÉBEC. I call upon Councillor Moss.
Yes. I move that council authorize the renewal of the partnership agreement with ENTREPRISES QUÉBEC, EEQ, for the period from April 3rd, 2027 to March 31st, 2028, that the Director of Public Works be authorized to sign any documents required to give full effect to the present resolution.
Do I have a seconder? Councillor Aronson, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried unanimously. Thank you very much. Item number 10, adoption of the 2026 action plan for persons with disabilities. I call upon Councillor Shami.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Whereas the City of Westmount is required to produce an annual action plan under the Act to secure handicapped persons in the exercise of their rights with a view to achieving social, school, and workplace integration, in order to identify the objectives and measures taken to facilitate the integration of persons with disabilities. Whereas the City wishes to promote the integration of persons with disabilities and their families into their living environment within the City of Westmount, as well as the development and organization of resources and services for them. And whereas the City's Communication Department has prepared the 2026 Action Plan for Persons with Disabilities, I move, Mr. Mayor, that the 2026 Action Plan be adopted and that the Director of Communications, Director of Communications Department be authorized to sign any documents required to give full effect of this resolution.
Thank you. Do I have a seconder? Councillor Aronson. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Thank you. Motion carries unanimous. Item number 11, which is finance, authorization payment of invoices to J.J. MACKAY Canada Limited for transaction fees relating to Passport Parking Canada. We pay for every transaction when you pay for parking. Basically, I call upon Councillor D'Amico.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I move that the council authorize an expenditure of $130,000, all taxes included, for a net amount of $113,068 to pay invoices for the period from May 2026 to January 2027, that the amounts required for this expenditure shall be taken from the available funds under budget item 02-357-00-896, that the Assistant Director of Public Safety be authorized to sign any documents required for the implementation of this contract.
Thank you very much. I have a seconder. Councillor Shami, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? No. Motion carries unanimously. Thank you very much. Item number 12, disbursement trust funds for Westmount Square lawsuit. I call upon Councillor D'Amico.
Merci, Monsieur le maire. Je propose que le Conseil autorise un débours de 113 084 et 81, toutes taxes comprises, à être déposées dans le compte en fidéicommis de Bélanger Sauvé Saint-Crel, que les sommes nécessaires aux fins de ce débours soient comptabilisées comme un actif au bilan post-budgétaire 54-136-80 et que le greffier adjoint par intérim soit autorisé à signer tout document requis pour donner plein effet à la présente résolution.
Thank you. Do I have a seconder? Councillor Chomsky. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? No. Motion carries unanimously. Contractual matters are item number 13, additional funds for Le Groupe Guy Inc. for 2026. I call upon Councillor D'Amico.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I move that the council authorize the addition of $20,000 before taxes to purchase order BC 034019 issued to Le Groupe Guy Inc. for the year 2026, bringing the total purchase order amount to $70,328.14. All taxes included for a net amount of $64,218.96, that the amounts required for this expenditure shall be taken from the available funds under budget item 02-327-00-525, and that the Director of Public Works be authorized to sign any document required to give full effect to this resolution.
Thank you very much. Do I have a seconder? Councillor Shami, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? No. Motion carries unanimously. Item number 14, which is renewal of the collection and transportation of recyclable material. I call upon Councillor Moss.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I move that the renewal of contract PUB 2023-040 for the collection and transportation of recyclable materials be approved for the period from April 1st, 2027 to March 31st, 2028, and that an expenditure of $594,069.88, tax included, for a net amount of $542,464.98 be authorized for this purpose, that the cost of the renewal be adjusted in accordance with the terms and conditions of the contract, it being understood that the final contract amount will be determined in April 2027 based on the applicable parameters, that the amounts required for this expenditure shall be taken from the available funds under budget item 02-452-10-446, and that the Director of Public Works be authorized to sign any documents required to give full effect to the present resolution.
Thank you very much. I have a seconder. Councillor Levine, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Thank you. We go to item number 15, which is contract for the tennis court fences, which have to be replaced at Devon Park and Stainer Park. I call upon Councillor Aronson.
Well, Mr. Mayor, thank you. I know this is the item that most people came here to see tonight, especially the tennis players in the audience. It's very exciting because we are going to replace some fences that need some work. So just to give a little context, as we really should for every item, whereas the city has issued a request for quotations for 5 suppliers for the replacement of tennis court fences at Devon Park and at Stainer Park. And the work is going to be carried out at Devon Park in the summer of 2026 and at Stainer Park in the fall, shortly before the courts are closed for the winter season. And whereas our 5 companies submitted bids for the fence replacement project, and Clôture Fortin was the lowest compliant bidder. So whereas the cost for the replacement of these tennis court fences at Devon Park and at Stainer Park is $66,910.85, all taxes included, for a net amount of $61,098.53. I'd like to propose the following motion. First, that the contract for the replacement of the tennis court fences at Devon Park and at Stainer Park be awarded to Clôture Fortin. Second, that the expenditure of $66,910.85, all taxes included, for a net amount of $61,098.53 be authorized for this purpose. That the required amount for this expenditure be drawn from the available funds in budget line item 23-310-92-011. And, of course, that the Public Works Director be authorized to sign any documents that are required for the implementation of this contract.
Thank you. Do I have a seconder? Councillor D'Amico, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries unanimously.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you very much. Item number 16, contract for Hydro-Québec reconstruction of access manhole. I call upon Councillor D'Amico.
Merci, Monsieur le maire. Je propose que le contrat PUB-2026-007 soit accordé à CMS Entrepreneurs Généraux Inc. pour la reconstruction du puits d'accès PA-183, qu'une dépense de 259 611,11, toutes taxes comprises, pour un montant net de 225 797,88, soit autorisé à cette fin, que les sommes nécessaires aux fins de cette dépense soient puisées à même les disponibilités du poste budgétaire 23-311-02-008 et que le directeur d'Hydro-Westmount soit autorisé à signer tout document requis pour la mise en œuvre du présent contrat.
Thank you. Do I have a seconder? Councillor Chomsky, all in favor?
Mr. Mayor, may I speak to the motion, please?
Yes.
This particular manhole chamber, which is PA 183, was originally scheduled to be done in the summer of 2025 on Renfrew Avenue. And unfortunately, through a series of, as these things sometimes expand and become more complicated, the work evolved and delayed and eventually resulted in a metal plate being left in place on Renfrew Avenue, much to the dismay of some of the residents there. I heard about it a lot from those residents. They had brought it to my attention after I was in my role as their councillor, and I'm very happy that hopefully my colleagues will now support this motion, that this work will now, from the delay originally from 2025 and through the inconvenience of those residents, will now be completed hopefully by the work is supposed to begin at the beginning of August after the construction holiday comes to an end. So hopefully there's some light at the end of the tunnel for those residents. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
That's good. All in favor? You seconded. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Thank you very much. Motion carries unanimously. Item number 17, cancellation of a contract for the Boulevard de Maisonneuve Professional Services. I call upon Councillor Chomsky.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just give me a moment here. This has to do with the cancellation of a contract for professional services Whereas the city had conducted a public call for tenders with regards to PUB 2026-014 to obtain professional engineering services for the design of Hydro Westmount and sewer networks, as well as the reconstruction of the Maisonneuve Boulevard and its sidewalks between Claremont Avenue and Lansdowne, whereas the lowest compliant bidder substantially exceeded the initial estimate of $466,000, all taxes included, I now move that council not authorize the award of the contract PUB 2026-014 on the grounds that the lowest compliant bidder substantially exceeds the initial estimate. The plan, as I understand it, is to attempt to do this work in the next calendar year. Thank you.
Thank you. Do I have a seconder? Councillor D'Amico, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? No. Thank you. Motion carried. Item number 18, which is the awarding of the contract for Hydro Westmount for minor civil works. I call upon Councillor D'Amico.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I move that contract PUB-2026-016 be awarded to Transelec Common Inc. for the execution of minor civil works for maintenance and emergency repairs, that an expenditure of $334,064.22, all taxes included, for a net amount of $290,553.79 be authorized for this purpose, that the amounts required for this expenditure shall be taken from the available funds under budget item 23-311-02-009, and that the Director of Hydro Westmount be authorized to sign any documents required to give full effect to this resolution.
Thank you very much. Do I have a seconder? Councillor Chomsky, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? No. Motion carried. Thank you very much. Item number 19, award of contract for the reconstruction of Mountain Avenue between Cedar and Sherbrooke. I call upon Councillor Chomsky.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This item relates to the award of a contract for the reconstruction of Mountain Avenue between Cedar and Sherbrooke Avenue, PUB 2026-020. We had the opportunity to meet with residents of the street. This is a major reconstruction of Mountain Avenue. Councillor Chamy was able to assist at that meeting, and the engineering team did an excellent job presenting and meeting with the residents and explaining both the purpose of this project, which aside from reconstruction of the street and normalizing some of the intersections between Severn and I believe it's Rosemont Crescent and Mountain Avenue, is going to be a major improvement to the infrastructure above the street, but possibly even more important is the impact that hopefully this project will have in terms of stormwater management. Stormwater management as a result of climate change is becoming more and more a critical infrastructure item that the engineering team is doing an excellent job anticipating and implementing unique and novel experiences. I'll save you some of the technical details, Mr. Mayor, but there is a project 22-page document that is on our Public Works Project Construction website that goes into great detail about the innovations and the retention and then release of stormwater that is designed into this project. I therefore, whereas the city has conducted a public call for tenders for the reconstruction of Mountain Avenue between Cedar Avenue and Sherbrooke, whereas DeMix Construction is the lowest compliant bidder, whereas the total amount for the reconstruction of Mountain Avenue between Cedar and Sherbrooke is, and this is a big one, $9,826,913.25, all taxes included, for a net amount of $8,973,281.63. I therefore move that contract PUB 2026-020 be awarded to DeMix Construction for the reconstruction of Mountain Avenue between Cedar Avenue and Sherbrooke, that an expenditure of $9,826,913.25, all taxes included, for a net amount of $8,973,281.63 be authorized for that purchase. That the reconstruction of Mountain Avenue between Cedar and Sherbrooke be financed under loan bylaw number 1644, that the amounts required for this expenditure shall be taken from the available funds under budget item 23310510022, that the Director of Engineering of the Director, the director of the engineering department be authorized to sign any documents required to give full effect to this resolution. Mr. Mayor, I'll also add, just for the knowledge of those in the room and those maybe watching at home, this project is such a scope that there is a component that will be done in 2026 that will end in December, and then there's a component that will continue in 2027, starting again in May and anticipated to end in July. Thank you.
Thank you. Seconded by Councillor Chamy. All in favor? Aye.
Mr. Mayor, can I make a quick comment?
Yes.
Thank you, Councillor Chomsky. Mr. Mayor, this is transformative. It's the largest aqueduct waterworks project in our history. These pipes underneath mountain date 1929. They've served 100 years almost. But now we need to look at the next 100 years. So the decision taken tonight by council to do this transformative work, and we met with many of the residents who live there with this amount of water. Again, a 150-year-old city on a mountain with a ton of water. It all comes flowing down mountain, and that this new catchment area, through innovation that Councillor Chomsky talked about, will expand and capture the water when there's huge inundation of water, and then be able to constrict and contract. It's the way of the future, and our grandchildren and great-grandchildren will be very happy with this decision tonight. Thank you, Mr.
It's a big job. We received 2 quotes. Very often a big job like this, there aren't that many people that quote because it's a complicated job to do. And there was tremendous flooding, as you heard. Hopefully, it will alleviate a lot of the problem. Bear in mind, there's a big difference between the gross amount of 9.8 million and the net amount of 8.9. We pay, like any consumer, we pay federal tax, 5%, and we pay Quebec tax. However, as it works for a city, we get back the entire amount of our federal tax, and we get back half the tax. In the case of hydro work, we get back the entire amount of all the tax. So thank you, and I know it's a big job for the administration and the engineering department and specifically, and looking forward to that being done. Item number 20, which is awarding the contract for the reconstruction of St. Catherine eastbound between Boulevard and the Maisonneuve and Glen Road. I call upon Councillor Chomsky.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. St. Catherine Street between the Maisonneuve Boulevard and Glen Avenue was built in 1959. It was then further rebuilt in 1974 for the section between York Avenue and Glen Avenue as part of the construction of the STM Metro Tunnel. The street was then last resurfaced in 1989 with the addition of 40 millimeters of asphalt. In 2014, work was carried out to line the aqueduct. Furthermore, between 2018 and 2024, 2 major projects were done there in terms of the immediate area, the renovation of the Vendôme station and the construction of the LISTE, which generated a significant amount of truck traffic. As part of the current project, the work is planned on the south side of the street, the eastbound side, the reconstruction of the roadway foundation, concrete slab between the Maisonneuve and York Avenue, the repair of the concrete slab between York and Glen Avenues, the replacement of the concrete guardrail, which are in poor condition, the scarification and laying of new bituminous coating on the roadway heading east, and the reconstruction of the sidewalks on the south side. It's a large project, and in terms of the actual awarding, whereas the city has conducted a public call for tenders, PUB 2026-022, for the reconstruction of St. Catherine Street between Boulevard de Maisonneuve and Glen Road, whereas Cogillac Inc. is the lowest compliant bidder, whereas the contract amount for the reconstruction of St. Catherine Street between Boulevard de Maisonneuve and Glen Road is $1,773,394.52, all taxes included, for a net amount of $1,619,345.57. I therefore move that contract PUB 2026-022 be awarded to Cogillac Inc. for the reconstruction of St. Catherine Street between Boulevard de Maisonneuve and Glen Road, then an expenditure of $1,773,394.52, all taxes included, for a net amount of $1,619,345.57. $345.57 be authorized for that purpose, that the amounts required for this expenditure shall be taken from the available funds under budget item 23-310-51026, that the Director of Engineering be authorized to sign any documents required to give full effect to this resolution.
Thank you. Do I have a seconder? Councillor Levine, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? The motion carried unanimous. Thank you. This is a smaller job. We were able to get 5 quotes on this. Item number 21, awarding of contract for Hydro Westmount for professional services for engineering, underground infrastructure work. I call upon Councillor D'Amico.
Merci, Monsieur le maire. Je propose que le contrat PUB-2026-027 soit accordé à Infrastructel Inc. pour les travaux d'infrastructure souterraine, qu'une dépense de 120 148,88 toutes taxes comprises pour un montant net de 104 500 soit autorisé à cette fin, que les dépenses nécessaires aux fins de cette dépense soient puisées à même les disponibilités du poste budgétaire 23-311-02-011 et que le directeur de l'Hydro-Westmount soit autorisé à signer tout document requis pour la mise en œuvre du présent contrat.
Thank you. Do I have a seconder? Councillor Chami, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? No. Motion carried unanimous. Thank you very much. Item number 22, awarding of contract for the purchase of medium and low voltage cables. I call upon Councillor D'Amico.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I move that contract PUB-2026-033 be awarded to Lumen Division de Sonpar Canada Inc. for the purchase of medium voltage and low voltage cables, that an expenditure of $1,049,711.40, all taxes included, for a net amount of $912,991 be authorized for this purpose, that the amounts required for this expenditure shall be taken from the available funds under budget item 23-311-02-004, and that the Director of Hydro Westmount be authorized to sign any documents required to give full effect to this resolution.
Thank you. Do I have a seconder? Councillor Chami, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? No. Thank you. Motion carried. Item number 23, which is awarding of contract for acquisition of a self-propelled reel trailing for cable pulling. It's a very specialized vehicle used by Hydro. Ours is presently well over 20 years old. I call upon Councillor Levine.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This motion authorizes the replacement of Hydro Westmount's cable puller vehicle, Unit 562, which has been in service since 2002 and has significantly exceeded its intended service life. The vehicle's mechanical condition and reliability have deteriorated, making replacement necessary to maintain operational readiness and service standards. As part of the city's ongoing fleet renewal program, a new vehicle of equivalent capacity will be acquired. I move that contract PUB 2026-040 be awarded to Posiplus Technology, Inc. for the acquisition of a self-propelled reel trailer for cable pulling, that an expenditure of $592,184.54, all taxes included, for a net amount of $540,743.42 be authorized for this purpose, que les sommes nécessaires aux fins de cette dépense soient puisées à même les disponibilités de poste budgétaire 23-314-81-003.
Thank you. Do I have a seconder? Councillor Chami, all in favor? Oh, sorry. Did you miss a paragraph?
You missed the last paragraph, the director.
Sorry. And the last paragraph, that the Director of Public Works be authorized to sign any documents required for the implementation of the contract.
Thank you. Do I have a seconder? It was Councillor Chami. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you very much. Item number 24, which is cancellation of the awarding of a contract for professional services for urban planning review. I call upon Councillor Moss.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This is a two-parter. It's going to be 24 and 25. There was a small error in the contract that we awarded for the urban planning bylaw overhaul. So 24 is going to cancel it. 25 is going to reinstigate a new contract. So item number 24, I move that council cancel resolution number 2026-06171.
Thank you. Do I have a seconder? Councillor Aronson. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Thank you. Motion carries unanimously. Item number 25, I call upon Councillor Moss for the awarding of the contract.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So to continue, I move that contract PUB 2026-045 be awarded to BC2 Conseil Inc. for professional services for urban reform for the year 2026 and beyond, that an expenditure of $568,639.91, all taxes included, for a net amount of $519,244.02 be authorized for this purpose, that the amounts required for this expenditure shall be taken from the available funds under budget item 02-610-00-998, and that the Director of Urban Planning be authorized to sign any documents required for the implementation of this contract.
Thank you. Do I have a seconder? Councillor D'Amico, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Next item, number 26. I call upon Councillor Kez for the awarding of contract for the installation, installation and maintenance and storage of winter light displays. Councillor Kez.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I move that contract PUB 2026-046 be awarded to VERTU Rouge Inc. for the supply, installation, maintenance, and storage of winter decorative lighting, that an expenditure of $88,821.06, all taxes included, for a net amount of $81,105.47, be authorized for this purpose, that the amount required for this expenditure shall be taken from the available funds under budget item 23-310-92-020 and be paid through cash payment, pay-as-you-go. That the Director of Public Works be authorized to sign any document required to give full effect to this resolution.
Thank you. Do I have a seconder? Councillor Levine, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? No. Motion carries unanimously. Octroi de contrat, Hydro Westmount Vegetation Clearing Program around medium and low voltage lines. I call upon Councillor D'Amico.
Merci, Monsieur le Maire. Je propose que le contrat PUB-2026-047 soit accordé à Elago BDC Inc. pour le dégagement de la végétation autour des lignes de moyenne tension et de basse tension sur le réseau d'Hydro-Westmount, qu'une dépense de 136 820,25 sous toute taxe comprise pour un montant net de 119 000 soit autorisé à cette fin, que les sommes nécessaires aux fins de cette dépense soient puisées à même les disponibilités du plus budgétaire 02-832-00-456 et que le directeur d'Hydro-Westmount soit autorisé à signer tout document requis pour donner plein effet à la présente résolution.
Thank you. Do I have a seconder? Councillor Chomsky, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Urban planning, item number 28, site planning and architectural integration programs, PAC meetings held on June 3rd and 4th. I call upon Councillor Levine.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'm very pleased to present the motion to approve the 29 favorable permit applications recommended by PAC to Council to approve subsequent to their meetings of June 3rd and 4th, 2026. Whereas the minutes of the regular meeting of the Urban Planning Advisory Committee, PAC, held on June 3rd and 4th, 2026, and of the special meeting held on June 3rd, 2026 were tabled at this current sitting, whereas applications were submitted by the applicants pursuant to Bylaw 1305 concerning site planning and architectural integration programs. Whereas the Urban Planning Advisory Committee, PAC, issued recommendations regarding these applications, as set out in the minutes of the regular meeting of the Urban Planning Advisory Committee held on June 3rd and June 4th, 2026, and of the special meeting held on June 3rd, 2026. I move that the Municipal Council act upon the recommendations of the Urban Planning Advisory Committee, PAC, as set out in the minutes of the regular meeting held on June 3rd and 4th, 2026, 28 applications, and of the special meeting held on June 3rd, 2026, 1 application, and approve, with respect to each of them, the plans and permit issuance conditions attached to the items listed below, as evaluated in accordance with Bylaw 1305 concerning site planning and architectural integration.
Thank you. Do I have a seconder? Councilor D'Amico, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Thank you. Item number 29, which is the tabling of the PAC minutes of June 3rd and 4th. I call upon Councilor Chomsky.
Merci, Monsieur le maire. Attendu que le comité constitutif d'urbanisme a tenu l'assemblée ordinaire les 3 et 4 juin 2026 et l'assemblée spéciale le 3 juin 2026 et que les procès-verbaux de ces assemblées sont déposés lors de cette séance du conseil municipal. Attendu que le rôle principal du comité consultatif d'urbanisme est d'analyser et d'émettre des recommandations sur toute demande qui doit lui être obligatoirement soumise en vertu de la loi sur l'aménagement et l'urbanisme et sur toute autre demande en matière d'urbanisme et d'aménagement du territoire qui lui est soumis par le conseil municipal. Je donc propose que le conseil municipal prenne acte et accepte le dépôt du procès-verbaux du comité consultatif urbanisme pour l'assemblée ordinaire du 3 et 4 juin et pour l'assemblée spéciale du 3 juin 2026.
Thank you. Do I have a seconder? Councilor Shammy, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? No. All motion carries unanimously. Item number 30, which is the decision on the PAC's unfavorable recommendation for 351 Redfern. I call upon Councilor Chomsky.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Whereas the minutes of the regular sitting of the Planning Advisory Committee held on April 28, 30, 2026 and May 7th, 2026 were submitted at the sitting of the June 2nd, 2026 council meeting, whereas the primary role of the PAC is to analyze and issue recommendations on any application that must be submitted to it under the Act respecting land use, planning, and development, as well as any other urban planning and land use application referred to it by council. Whereas a request was submitted by the applicant for 351 Redfern Avenue pursuant to Bylaw 1305 on site planning and architectural integration programs. Whereas the aforementioned application does not meet the objectives and criteria of the aforementioned Bylaw 1305, whereas the PAC issued an unfavorable recommendation regarding the request as set out forth in the minutes of its regular meetings held on April 28th, 30th, 2026 and May 7th, 2026 under agenda item CCU 260440 of said meeting, whereas pursuant to Bylaw 1305, the City Council must adopt a resolution concerning the opinion of the PAC. Whereas the City Council is not bound to adopt the PAC's recommendation, whereas the City Council considers the plan submitted with the application to be consistent with the requirements of Bylaw 1305, I therefore move that the City Council not act on the negative opinion of the Planning Advisory Committee and approve the site planning and architectural integration program plans for the issuance of a permit in accordance with the plans and documents submitted as part of permit application 2026-00-235 PIIA 2026-03065 for the replacement of a window on the side facade, that these plans and documents be attached to this resolution as an integral part thereof.
Thank you. Do I have a seconder? Councilor D'Amico, all in favor? Any opposed? Thank you.
For those curious, this is the last file I saw on the straw that broke the camel's back. After seeing this file and seeing how the council acts on these issues, I just said enough is enough. I wasn't able to talk about it last month because it wasn't public, but now it's public, so this is the one that annoyed me enough to quit the PAC.
Thank you.
And Mr. Mayor, if I may, PAC is advisory, council has the right, and council has the right to honor residents' wishes, and I respect Councillor Moss, but it's a two-way street, and democracy goes both ways.
I would like to add also that, we have a very good urban planning department. They know the rules. They're very strict. We get a lot of applicants coming in here with all kinds of things, and they work with our urban planning department, and very often they're told, no, or you have to modify, you have to change. Then it goes, if it's approved there, it does go to the PAC, and the vast majority of the permits are accepted by PAC. And there are some cases, small number of cases where the PAC actually refuses to accept. And of those where they refuse to accept, they come to council generally. And most of the time, we agree with PAC. But there are the odd time we look at extenuating circumstances and we override the PAC, which is an advisory board to the elected officials council.
Before we
thank you
change
very
topics,
much.
I'd just like to thank Mr. Shami for his astute comments. Thank you, sir.
Okay, calm down. Item number 31, application for minor exemption at 396 Olivier. I call upon Councillor Levine.
Whereas bylaw 1576 on minor exemptions, whereas a request for a minor exemption must comply with the objectives of the planning program, whereas a minor exemption must be considered as minor, particularly in terms of its quantitative impact, environmental impact, and architectural impact, whereas the enforcement of the regulatory provisions relevant to the request must result in serious hardship for the person requesting the minor exemption, whereas the exemption must not adversely affect the enjoyment of the property rights of neighboring property owners, whereas the exemption must not exacerbate risks regarding public safety or public health or harm environmental quality or general well-being, whereas the request for a minor exemption seeks to allow the conversion of 2 units within a multifamily building into 2 residential dwelling units without providing 2 parking spaces on the lot, notwithstanding that subsection 5.5.2 of zoning bylaw 1303 states that an existing building may only be established if, after the coming into force of this bylaw, in the case of a multifamily building, it includes on the lot or parcel of land on which it is erected at least 1 parking space per dwelling unit. Whereas the multifamily building was constructed in 1927 and does not contain an indoor garage or any exterior parking spaces. Whereas there's no feasible location on the lot occupied by the multifamily building for the provision of parking spaces. Whereas the building is located in an area that is well served by public transit. Whereas the minutes of the special meeting of the Planning Advisory Committee, PAC, held on June 3rd, 2026, have been filed. And whereas the Planning Advisory Committee, PAC, issued an opinion regarding this application as set forth in the minutes of its special meeting on minor exemptions requests held on June 3rd, 2026. I move that the above preamble forms an integral part of this resolution, that the City Council approves the request for a minor exemption to allow the conversion of 2 units within a multifamily building into 2 residential dwelling units without providing 2 parking spaces on the lot, notwithstanding that subsection 5.5.2 of zoning bylaw 1303 states that an existing building may only be established if, after coming into force of this bylaw, in the case of a multifamily building, it includes on the lot or parcel of land on which it is erected at least 1 parking space per dwelling unit.
Point of order,
Thank
Mr.
you.
Mayor.
Yes.
I believe, and I just want to ask the clerk, do we have to have a call for any interested party to speak on a délégation mineure? Is that not part of the procedure? Am I mixing up something? No, sorry. Thank you.
So the seconder, Councillor Chomsky. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? No motion carries. Unanimous. Thank you very much. Item number 32, which is the application for a minor exemption at 4383 de Maisonneuve. I call upon Councillor Chomsky.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Whereas bylaw 1576 on minor exemptions, whereas a request for a minor exemption must comply with the objectives of the planning program, whereas a minor exemption must be considered as minor, particularly in terms of its quantitative and environmental impact and architectural impact, whereas the enforcement of the regulatory provisions relevant to the request must result in serious hardship for the person requesting the minor exemption, whereas the exemption must not adversely affect the enjoyment of the property rights of the neighboring property owners, whereas the exemption must not exacerbate risks regarding public safety or public health or harm environmental quality or general well-being, Whereas the request for a minor exemption seeks to allow the reconstruction of the balconies located at the rear of the property, which would create an open rear yard space measuring 4.2 meters in depth, notwithstanding that zoning bylaw 1303 provides in Table 2 of Point 1 of subsection 5.3.3 that where the height of the rear wall of the main building is between 7.62 meters and 10.67 meters, the minimum depth open rear yard space must be 7.62 meters, representing a difference of 3.41 meters, whereas the proposed new balconies would have the same footprint as those they replace, whereas the proposed balconies would integrate architecturally with the rest of the main building to which they are attached, whereas the minutes of the special meeting of the Urban Planning Advisory Committee held on June 3rd, 2026 were tabled, whereas the Urban Planning Advisory Committee issued an opinion regarding this application as set out in the minutes of its special meeting on minor variance applications held on June 3rd, 2026. I move that the above preamble forms an integral part of this resolution, that the City Council approves the request for a minor exemption to allow the reconstruction of the balconies located at the rear of the property, which would create an open rear yard space measuring 4.21 meters in depth, notwithstanding that zoning bylaw 1303 provides in Table 2 of Point 1 of subsection 5.3.3 that where the height of the rear wall of the main building is between 7.62 meters and 10.67 meters, the minimum depth of the open rear yard space must be 7.62 meters, representing a difference of 3.41 meters.
Thank you. Do I have a seconder? Councillor D'Amico, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Thank you. Item number 33, dealing with bylaws, adoption of bylaw 1657 to amend the zoning bylaw and the construction bylaw in order to incorporate provisions for accessory dwelling units. This is a good thing for us. I call upon Councillor Shami.
Sir,
Firstly, Assistant
yes.
Clerk. Sorry.
Yes. I report that all the formalities required for the waiver of the reading of this bylaw have been complied with, and that copies of the bylaw have been distributed to all members of council and made available to the public. Each member of council present declares that he or she has read the bylaw and that the reading thereof is waived.
I so declare. Thank you. I call upon Councillor Shami.
I'm sorry, we didn't get everybody's vote.
So declared.
Councillor D'Amico? Thank you.
Councillor Shami.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I move that bylaw 1657, entitled "A Bylaw to Amend the Zoning Bylaw and the Construction Bylaw in order to incorporate provisions for accessory dwelling units," be adopted.
Thank you. Do I have a seconder? Councillor Levine, all in favor?
A point of information, Mr. Mayor? I'm sorry, could we just have a confirmation that no amendments have been made to this bylaw since it was tabled at the regular meeting on the 14th of April, 2026? It would be the mover of the motion would be the one to put that in a whereas or just to confirm. So
you'd like me to read the whereas?
Oh, no, you could just tell us if there's been any amendments made.
No amendments were made to the bylaw as it was tabled on April 14th.
Perfect. Awesome, thank you.
You all voted? Yes. On to next. Okay. We had a seconder. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? No, motion carries. Thank you very much.
Mr. Mayor, a point of order. I'm so sorry to interrupt. I took the opportunity to review the bylaw, which I believe is the applicable bylaw with regards to the minor derogations, bylaw 1576, and under section 12 in my reading of it, and again, forgive me if I'm mistaken, the resolution by which the municipal council makes its decision may provide for any condition with respect to the jurisdiction of the city. Specifically, the municipal council makes its decision in session on the date stated in the public notice after receiving the Planning Advisory Committee's opinion and having heard any interested person who wants to give their opinion in connection with this application. So I just want to make sure that we're fully compliant with those two minor derogation. I'm familiar with both those files. Those applicants have waited a very long time, and I want to just make sure that we're fully
Talking
compliant.
about 31 and 32?
I am, yeah, in terms of section 12 of bylaw 1576. And if perhaps a short adjournment to verify the bylaw would be in order, Mr. Mayor, just to
I guess we can call upon if anyone present has any comments on item 31, which is application for minor exemption for 396 Olivier or minor exemption for 4383 de Maisonneuve. Would appear that nobody does, so no problem.
And if you did, we would vote again on it, just to be clear, just to be fully compliant. So going once, going twice, so no comments. Thank you.
We're going to item number 35 now, which is the notice of motion for bylaw 1666 to amend the bylaw of 16 for establishing the fees for the 2026 fiscal year. Councillor D'Amico.
I hereby give notice of motion of the intention to submit at a future council meeting bylaw number 1666 entitled Bylaw to amend bylaw number 1646, establishing the fees for the 2026 fiscal year. I hereby table the draft of said bylaw.
Do we have to say anything other than that? Do we vote on it?
The object of this, I'll read. So the object of this bylaw is to review municipal fees to ensure the continued funding of municipal activities and the quality of services provided to the public. This amendment also adds a financing mechanism under Section 13 allowing property owners to spread the cost of certain municipal works not otherwise provided for in the bylaw over a period of up to 10 years where the cost exceeds $5,000 plus applicable taxes. This measure provides greater financial flexibility while enabling the city to cover costs in a fair and transparent manner. A copy of this draft bylaw is available for consultation.
This happens in rare cases where we have to do certain work that's on a private domain, and we have to do the work, and the resident has to pay for it. So to make it easier for people, if it's over $5,000, they can finance it with us, or they can pay up front without interest. It's to help some people. Thank you. Item number 36. Call upon Councillor Shami.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I move that council approve the extension of Mr. Mazzucci's contractual appointment as coordinator of the garage and vehicle fleet for Public Works Department effective July 9th, 2026, and that this is in accordance with the conditions of employment and compensation of management personnel, that this extension be for a maximum period of 3 months until September 18th, 2026, and that council set Mr. Mazzucci's remuneration according to the salary group grade 9, 2026 rate and be drawn from available funds in budget item 02-327-00111.
Thank you. Do I have a seconder? Councillor D'Amico, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? No motion carried unanimously. Item number 37, ratification of settlement agreement and release for employee 05147. I call upon Councillor Shami.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I move that Municipal Council ratify the settlement agreement and the release entered into between the employee 05147 and the city on June 11th, 2026. The settlement agreement and release be declared confidential, and that the Human Resource Department be authorized to proceed in accordance with the terms and conditions of the said settlement agreement and release, and that the Director of Human Resources be authorized to sign any document required to give full effect of this resolution.
Thank you very much. Do I have a seconder? Councillor Aronson, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? No. Motion carries unanimously. Item number 38, new business appointment of the Assistant Director of Library and Community Events. I call upon Councillor Moss.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This is a mat leave replacement. So I move that council approves the contractual appointment of Mr. Vladimir Nguyen to the position of Assistant Director of the Library and Community Events as of July 20th, 2026, in accordance with the terms and conditions of employment and compensation for management personnel. That compensation be set according to pay grade 7 -2026 rate from the available funds in budget item 02-770-00-111. That this appointment be subject to a probationary period in accordance with the agreement on working conditions and remuneration for management personnel.
Thank you. Do I have a seconder? Councillor D'Amico, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Item number 39, appointment of acting mayor for August to October 2026. I call upon Councillor Shami.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Whereas pursuant to
Sorry,
section... Mr. Mayor asked me to make the
Oh,
motion.
I'm sorry.
I was on the agenda to be the mover,
It's
but
supposed to have been changed.
Whereas pursuant to Section 56 of the Cities and Towns Act, the council may appoint a councillor as acting mayor, whereas the person appointed by the council possesses and exercises the powers of the mayor when the latter is absent from the municipality or is unable to perform the duties of his office. I move, Mr. Mayor, that Antonio D'Amico, District 1 Councillor, be appointed acting mayor for the months of August to October 2026.
Thank you. Do I have a seconder? Councillor Aronson, all in favor?
Mr. Mayor, I'd actually like to propose an amendment to this particular motion. Although before I do, I would like to thank Councillor Shammy for his service. For the last 9 months, he has been our acting mayor, mayor pro tem, which is since the election. So this is an extremely important role in the city because more than just being an understudy, the Article 56 of the Cities and Towns Act requires us to always have somebody available to step in the event that the mayor is unable or not present because he's out of the country to act, which means that whomever is in this role has the responsibility of managing their schedule and making sure that they're always available.
What's your amendment?
Oh, so the amendment is this. Seeing as we always need to have someone available and it requires scheduling in advance, I'd like to propose to amend the motion to include the following words. Following the appointment of Councillor D'Amico for acting mayor for the months of August to October of 2026, I propose that Jonathan Chomsky, Councillor for District 2, be appointed acting mayor for the months of November 26 to January 27, following which that Sean Most, Councillor for District 5, be appointed acting mayor for the months of February to April 2027, and that following that, Councillor Paul Levine, Councillor for District 6, be appointed acting mayor for the months of May to July 2027, that I, Matthew Aronson, Councillor for District 7, be appointed acting mayor for the months of August to October 2027, that Kathleen Kez, Councillor for District 8, be appointed acting mayor for the months of November 27 to January 28, that that Gurveen Chadha, Councillor for District 4, be appointed for acting mayor for the months of February to April of 28, that Jonathan Chomsky, Councillor for District 2, be appointed acting mayor for the months of May to July 28, that Antonio D'Amico, Councillor for District 1, be appointed acting mayor for the months of August to October 28, that Sean Moss, Councillor for District 5, be appointed acting mayor for the months of November to 28 to January 29, that Paul Levine, Councillor for District 6, be appointed acting mayor for the months of February to April 29, that I, Matt Aronson, Councillor for District 7, be appointed acting mayor for the months of May to July 29.
I think you like to make speeches. Nobody can digest that. We don't have the information.
It's just the list in the order of the districts. Once every 3 months, we rotate, so that at the end, Kathleen Kez, Councillor for District 8, be appointed acting mayor for the months of August to October 2029. If you refresh your screen on the CSB, it's all written out there. Now, the purpose of this amendment is to ensure...
We heard it. Is there a seconder?
Is there a seconder?
Thank you. Any in favor?
Would we like to debate it?
Thank you very much. The motion, all against it? The motion is defeated. Thank you very much. We'll talk about it at a later date. Let's go back to the original. The amendment is defeated. Let's go back to the original motion, which is to appoint Antonio D'Amico, District 1, as councillor, as a pro-mayor from August of 2026 to October 2026. Do I have a seconder? Paul Levine, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much. Anybody opposed? Thank you very much. We now go to the second question period.
That was lovely.
You know what? We could charge admission. This is entertaining.
I totally agree. Any seconders? My name is John Breslau.
Yes, we know you. Nice to meet you.
And I know
nice
you
to see
too.
you again.
I'm delighted to be seen. In your opening remarks, Ms. Stern, you used the term legally sound. And I'd like to bring that back in two contexts. The first context was the question of whether the mayor should vote or not. And you are totally and absolutely correct in that 328 of the Town and Cities Act allows the mayor, at his choice, to vote or not vote in council. So you're totally correct there.
That was not the practice before.
J'attends un moment, s'il vous plaît. In addition, a council that has an even number of mayors, of councillors, if there is a tie, then the mayor is required to vote in order to break the tie. That is also under 328. Obviously, as you can see clearly, should you have the need to break a tie, you have the power to. As my colleague here described it, the tradition in the past was the mayor did not vote unless he was required to break a tie. And that was actually predicated on the context that there's a certain gravitas.
What is your question, please?
There's a certain gravitas that is given to the mayor.
Thank you.
I fully understand that. So given the tradition, and given that, in fact, you have as much power as you like by not voting unless you're needed to, it would possibly be a good idea to take the precedent under advice. And that is solely a suggestion.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I have two comments for you. Just because we have a tradition doesn't mean it's right. We also have a tradition for 15 years, 20 years, not to borrow money and allow our infrastructure to fall apart. So that we're changing that tradition. And I said right from the beginning, I said I prefer to vote. I don't have to. I have the right to vote. But I prefer to vote because I think people have the right to know what I think. So
And
I
you
appreciate your comment.
you
You're
have-
not wrong. There's no right and wrong.
Absolutely, I am
Thank you for
totally in
your
agreement, but I wanted it to actually be recorded that your actions are totally backed up by law.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay, now let me go back to the other question, which is in terms of 1662.
Okay.
And
16,
here again, which you have decided not to adopt today. And here, this is again a question on whether the law is being followed or not. Public consultation for this draft planning law is covered under the Act Respecting Land Use. And there's, in addition to that, a detailed requirement specified in Chapter A1910. These provide the background, the requirements that are necessary for the legally correct adoption of a bylaw, in this case, the public consultation. There were two violations that occurred in the rather chaotic public consultation. The first, the Act requires a 14-day notice prior to public consultation, while the public notice was only posted on April the 20th, 7 days before the public consultation. Second, the Act required a mandatory report based on the minutes of the public consultation. However, there was no recording, there were no microphones, I told you it was chaotic, and there was no minutes. Indeed, I asked the service juridique, EGREF, and they replied to me, unfortunately, the city does not hold any minutes of the Westmount public consultation meeting. So, no minutes. So we have two violations there. Okay. Naturally, I advised council of this situation, and I received a response from Frederic, which went, the administration is responsible for ensuring that all legal processes under our remit are complied with. The procedures relating to this regulatory exercise is no exception. Honestly, I found that insulting and arrogant. That's just my feelings about it. I give a detailed description of what the problem is, and to get that is not acceptable. So I sent, as you know, Mayor Stern, I sent this to you and suggested I have an interview with you, which you, as you have the right, declined. So I decided, okay, where do we go from here? So I went to the Ministry of the MAM, and I went to the Protecteur des Citoyens de Québec. In fact, I had a talk with him for 1 hour this morning. Both of those organizations agreed that there was a distinct problem with abiding by the law. So my question, and they also have given me directions on how to proceed. So my question here is that if this law were passed, this bylaw were passed, and subsequently found illegal because of these procedural violations, then every neighbor who didn't like a PAC decision could demand that the decision be struck down since it was predicated on an illegal law. So the question is the cost of implementing 1662 at this time, given the potential consequence, greater than the cost of not implementing it? So, if so, you've been formally notified, both by email and in this meeting. Do you not have, obviously that would be chaos. Do you not have a fiduciary responsibility to put this draft bylaw on hold, given the violations of the act that occurred? Now, obviously, I don't expect a yes or no answer, and I do understand that you are in the process of discussion. So please accept these comments as one of the additional components of the discussion that you're currently undergoing, and take it in that light.
Thank you.
Democracy requires...
I'm listening to you.
I
Two violations, I wrote it down.
You got it.
I can't tell you if you're right or not right. We'll find out, and I thank you for your comments.
You're more than welcome.
Thank you.
And keep on voting.
Thank you. Hello.
Hi, I'm Hungry Cheryl Costin from 509 Argyle. So, Mr. Mayor, this is not the first time you've been asked this, but at the very meeting where the Transportation Advisory Committee's Mobility and Safety Study for this area was introduced on January 16, 2023, it was proposed that residents be informed of the study and that a public consultation meeting be held to obtain their feedback. Only the first half happened. Residents were informed on June 10, 2026, 3.5 years later, and only after funding was committed and the project approved. The consultation meeting was never held. We asked again directly during the question period of June 2nd, 2026 council meeting. We asked a third time in writing, both in our letter to you as Argyle residents and in a Stikeman Elliott's letter on June 15th on our behalf, which explicitly requested the cities commit to pausing implementation pending genuine consultation. The city's written response on June 17th stated there is no legal obligation to consult on a traffic safety measure. But the city's own application to the Green Municipal Fund, one of the funds of the project, states its purpose also serves Montreal's climate plan and Canada's national active transportation strategy. And the funder scores greenhouse gas reduction as 30% of the application, the single largest category. If this is also a climate and active transportation initiative, and not solely a safety measure, can you please explain why you decided to bypass public consultation?
Can't answer you other than what I understood was that a public consultation was not required. I'm told even that the administration is able to do this on their own, but we were involved. So I'll take it under advisement. I have no lawyer here to advise, and we'll check into it. But I appreciate your comments.
Okay, so on the Traffic Advisory Committee, I just want to add this because you informed us of a new proposal of the Argyle today. So now that the TAC has actually been formed over the last month, can you tell me how many times it's actually met to review the Argyle project? And whether tonight's change, it hasn't, right? Okay.
It has not met yet, and it's to be set up, the first meeting's to be set up in September.
But
I
you've
believe.
decided this new
Yeah,
project as
it
a
was-
done deal?
It was the opportune time at the beginning of school, yes.
So then Intervia has already produced a new study or a technical note for this new proposal with proposed, corners that might be problematic?
No.
No. So you're proposing something, I'm sorry, with all due
I
respect.
don't know what you're asking me.
Yeah, because you don't really know the actual project, with all due respect.
Yeah, I know
Like you
enough.
said, it's a lot of pages. I understand. But what I'm telling you is that your new proposal has not been properly studied.
Okay.
Unless it has been. Maybe it has been.
It has been
I don't
studied in
think so,
detail.
'cause-
It's been studied in detail. I'm sorry for the inconvenience, if it is inconvenient. Two concerns, like I've been told by Argyle residents, and I try to please everybody. I told you that, I sincerely do. I spent a lot of time, I was up at night many times thinking about this, how do I please everybody? At the end of the day, you have a school safety issue. You have experts, if you agree with them or don't agree with them, you like the study, you don't like the study, they're recommending this. It would be wrong of the mayor or the council to tell the administration, you have something here that it will be helpful to kids, please do so. And of all the comments I've heard from the Argyle residents, with all due respect, there are a lot of comments that the study's wrong. We got 38% of the respondents of the survey are from outside Montreal. Nobody from Argyle said, what am I losing? I'm trying to understand. So I heard of two things. I know of two things that Argyle residents are sort of giving up. One is the inconvenience, and it is an inconvenience, of not being able to go up your street. So if you come from north, you can't go down. If you come from downtown, you have to spend a minute going around the corner. There was another comment given to me that perhaps you're devaluing, this action is devaluing my property. I spoke to a top real estate person at 7:30 this morning who said, I'd never heard of such a thing. So we're trying, at the end of the day, I realize that some people on Argyle are being inconvenienced, and nobody wants to inconvenience anyone.
I'm not talking to you about inconvenience.
From what we know this morning, from what we know, this is on the advice of experts and our in-house staff who are very capable people. This is needed and is helpful to minimize risk for children and make it safer for children. And as I said, we will continue to monitor and see how things goes. We may tweak it, we may change it. We're not carving up the street, we're not changing anything. We're trying to help everybody, and at the end of the day, it's to help the children, to safeguard the children. So
Okay, but
thank
you just need to thank you, but you need to understand that you're making changes again that you don't have proper studies for.
Yes.
Okay, I appreciate
Do you understand
that. Thank
that?
you.
Cheryl, just
Thank you.
To substantiate what Cheryl just said, I mean, the studies, the traffic impact study actually would conclude not to do it. So when, Mr. Mayor, I mean, respectfully, when you tell us the expert have spoken, I mean, this is just not true. I mean,
Well,
really,
I will look into that. I don't know what to tell you. I can't answer you offhand.
I mean,
I understood, and what I saw a lot of things, and I spent a lot of time, and I looked at a lot of documents, so.
Anyway, I wanted to make two
But
points.
thank you. I don't know if I can answer anything else at this
It's
point.
late. I want to make two quick points.
Yes.
The first one, go back to the question of voting.
Yes.
I think, in fact, it is true that the law, Quebec law, gives you the right to vote.
Yes.
But historically, the Westmount mayor never voted. So one could ask the question, on what basis did this administration change the practice? Was there a bylaw before? Was the bylaw changed? Was it just a change of practice?
It's not a bylaw. Westmount has been here since 1895. I wasn't here in 1895, and neither were you. And like I know, we took courses, many of us, from all kinds of legal experts, told us the mayor absolutely has the right to vote. And just because it's tradition, I said, our tradition is not to borrow money and let the infrastructure fall apart. Well, we changed that tradition. I hope you don't mind.
No, I don't mind the tradition, but in fact, if there was a bylaw regulating right to vote on the council,
to my
that
knowledge,
should
there
be
is no
dealt
such
with.
bylaw.
Okay, so maybe there was not. Fine. The second point, pour Monsieur Chomsky. Est-ce que vous pouvez confirmer, je reviens à la réunion la première réunion du conseil, la dernière réunion du conseil du 2 juin. Est-ce que vous pouvez toujours confirmer que l'autorité juridique pour la décision de transformer le sens de la rue Argyle a été prise par le conseil le 3 février, comme vous l'avez affirmé le 2 juin? Est-ce que c'est toujours le cas?
Je ne suis pas avocat, je ne peux pas prendre...
Mais c'est ce que vous avez dit le 2 juin. That's what you said to us
J'ai expliqué
publicly,
mon-
formally. Is that
mon-
still true, or has...
My understanding of the process. If you have a formal question about the legality of a decision, I would suggest you could address that to...
No, in fact, I just have a procedural question. I mean, has there been another body that has met and decided to actually implement the project, or in fact, the action that you announced, Mr. Mayor, today is based on the decision of February the 3rd? That's my only question. It's just a fact. It's not a legal question, it's a fact.
I'll let the mayor answer the question. I'm not sure.
This is an administrative matter, and we got involved because it's important to all of us, and the council was involved. The council doesn't necessarily have to vote on something like this.
I agree, if in fact it respects its own procedures.
Yes.
And in fact, one of the primary reasons why courts strike down decision by municipalities is because they fail to respect their own process. And I've been saying to this council, there is a problem. And the process has not been respected, and you risk a challenge in court, and you will risk to lose and make a, you know,
I
a
appreciate
shame
it.
of
I
this.
can't answer you. We'll
But
check
it's okay.
into it.
This
I
is
appreciate
not
the
my
comment.
question. My question was simply to reconfirm. Okay, I'll say it in English. On June 2nd, we were told by Mr. Chomsky formally that the decision to pass the Safe Route project was taken at the council meeting on the 3rd of February. Is this still true?
Mr. Mayor, I can try to answer the question. I'll refer you to the Safe Routes to School questions et réponses séance d'information publique 10 juin 2026 qui est publié sur notre site web. On page, I only have an English copy, so I'm sorry. On page 20 at the top, it says, on the question of transparency and governance, this project was reviewed and approved by City Council at several project steps. January 2026, approved as part of the city's Capital Works program. February 3rd, 2026, FCM funding application. February 17th, 2026, General Committee of Council meeting. March 17th, 2026, General Committee of Council meeting.
Could we have the minutes of these proceedings, please?
They're all available on our website as far as I know, and if you have a concern about those...
No, they're not. I mean, I beg to differ.
I'm not
So Jeff,
responsible
could we make sure that we get the copy of those minutes? Please,
Okay.
thank you very much.
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, this one I can shed a little light on. Earlier this evening, we tabled the minutes from February the 3rd and February the 17th for the General Committee.
So, yes,
Now-
it'll be available.
Yeah, they're available online right at this very moment on the website. And just for context, to understand what it is we're looking at here, the General Committee is a committee of the whole made up of the elected members of the City Council, although in fact we should actually have passed a resolution naming us, as has been the tradition since the General Committee was created as a permanent committee of the whole in 1910 or 1915 under Bylaw 311. At any rate, the General Committee acts as an advisory body to the council. It seems a little counterintuitive that we act as an advisory body to ourselves, but that's actually how a committee of the whole works in this context. So we receive reports from the administration and from various professionals that the council has engaged, or the city has engaged to advise us. And then we make recommendations, usually on a consensus basis, although recently it has been more of a by majority. The Article 70 of the City and Towns Act requires that as a committee of this council, all of its deliberations and activities are reported, and that's what these minutes that are finally tabled tonight actually reveal, that they're the report of the deliberations and decisions of the General Committee. So if you were to go to February the 17th...
I don't think we have to go through it now. It's 9:45 at night. I mean, it's available
Yeah.
tomorrow or...
Right, so I'll just give you the page reference here, just so you know where you're supposed to look. It's from the minutes of February the 17th, and you'll find it at page, I just had it here, page 3. At page 3, there's a summary of the discussion and advice given by General Committee to the administration and to council with respect to the Safe Routes to School project. You're very welcome.
Thank you. Yes.
Good evening. My name is Sharifa van Gelderen. I live on 470 and 472 Argyle. I'm not here to waste your time. I just want to be heard. I am not one of the people that mind driving around because I have 4 young children. 2 of them attend Selwyn House. They walk to school. 2 other ones I have to drive in the morning. I always take Clark and Thornhill up, which is already very dangerous, and Argyle is a 2-way street already. My biggest concern is actually the winters. We're talking about children's safety and safety. For me, even now, if it's not winter, I want to access my driveway going down in Argyle, it's already scary. People are speeding and everything. In the winter, I have to take the other way to access my driveway. We're talking about children's safety. What about my children when they're in the car? I just wish that I haven't seen you, Mr. Shami. Like, you could check my driveway. I think 2 weeks ago, Mr. Shamsky was walking and you almost bumped into my car. I drive very slowly. It is just super dangerous. And I feel like this decision has been made. Why don't you wait a little bit?
So, I don't know, we weighed that. It would be very nice, keep people on Argyle happy by waiting.
It's not about being happy, it's
end,
dangerous.
What's going to be different? Like, the studies have been done, this has been worked on since 2022, I believe, or 2023, well before me. And we have addressed those issues. There will be traffic calming measures, including a speed hump, including some bollards, and with special attention we've already discussed on the winter to make sure it's a steep hill, to make sure that it's salted first.
The streets are not always clean. Like, you cannot even use the sidewalks in the winter. People are walking on the streets as well.
We know, and we'll be taking care of that.
My question is also, who can I call when I cannot access my driveway, when I have to go down? Who's going to help me? When I have my kids in the car, a 2-year-old toddler.
Why can't you access your driveway?
Because it's very slippery in the winter. I can't turn. You have people speeding at my back. I always have to go the other way in the winter to access my driveway so that people see me from the other side because they drive like 60, 70 down.
Certainly at the beginning, we're going to be careful. We're going to try to have public security there or somebody from the city checking to make sure there's no issue. I mean, there's speed rules.
You know how many calls I've made in the morning to access?
Let's see how it goes. We're doing our best to keep everybody safe. That's the goal here.
I hope so, because my children count as well.
Absolutely, they count. Thank you.
Hi,
Yes.
good
Hi.
evening, Mayor and Council. Marina Bresky from Grosvenor.
Yes.
Yes, I just want to address 2 questions regarding draft bylaw 1662. So just to refresh everyone's memory, we had an April public consultation with very short.
What is your question about it? It's not being presented today. It's not being
Exactly.
Yes. What
It's
is
not
your
being
question?
presented. You've heard that there have been a few violations to the process.
That's what I understand,
So I
yes.
have 2 questions about it. Question number 1, why is it not presented?
There's deliberations of council. There's nothing to discuss at this point. They're still looking at comments and other things.
But
other
why
matters.
did the public only find out at council that
Because we discussed it today and it's not being presented. I don't know what else to tell
you don't know what? Okay. And is it going to be presented? No, we don't know. Okay.
Maybe yes, maybe no. I can't tell you more definitively than that.
Okay.
Because we still have some things to
yeah,
do,
and just to
and
talk
it
about.
may or may not be presented in the future.
Right. Okay. So it's very vague. So we can't rely on the agendas anymore. So we just show up, figure out what's going on. Okay. No problem. We will adjust. We will adjust. Second question.
Yes.
So back in April, you had lost your legal department. There were no more legal employees. So since April,
yes.
What's going on with the legal department? And I've observed, and I'm so grateful that Councillor Aronson can step in. In fact, today, Councillor Chomsky stepped in to talk about legal process. But really, the administration needs your...
The council doesn't act, even if we are, some are lawyers, we don't do the legal services. The legal department, doesn't make us very happy. They're not here. They're ill.
Are they around? Are there employees? Are they on sick leave? Is there a reason?
Sick leave, and we're working with them. And in the meantime, we outsource more and more work to legal firms, and we have legal representation, not lawyers, but we have paralegals in our department.
Okay.
Thank you.
So there is a legal support here at the moment?
Yes.
Lawyers? Yes?
Yes.
Oh, not lawyers.
Paralegal.
Oh, okay, okay. So just a suggestion, but in the past, when we were on council, in the beginning, there were former councillors or mayors that came in who knew more about the process, who had a legal background, who could support maybe if you reached out, because it just does sound like there is a little bit of a choppiness. I mean, it could be improved, right? And we're all about improving, and we're all about humility and understanding what situations you're in.
Our DG is on sick leave as well, and hopefully coming back soon.
Okay.
And hopefully the issue with the legal department will be resolved relatively soon.
Well,
It's of
good luck
major
with that.
concern to us as well.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay.
Good evening. Chairman Ocasio, I have one question, short and sweet, on public safety, public order. But I'd like to join my voice to Councillor Chomsky's comments earlier about the mountain information meeting we had. And I just in thanking Engineering Director Elisa Gaetano, Engineer Sean Oliosis, and Christian Sapos, the Aqueduct Manager. I attended the meeting as well, and they're doing a fantastic job. On est vraiment choyés d'avoir des employés de la ville qui se soucient de notre qualité de vie, donc un gros merci à eux. I'm just regarding public safety, public order. I'm wondering, could council ask the SPVM to hold a public meeting for all residents this fall amid the ongoing demonstrations and safety issues, and yes, the rising and the alarming rise of anti-Semitism in our community?
Good question. So we did have, we have a new police commander. The police commander and many other police people did meet with owners of two buildings, or occupants of two buildings, and that was One Wood and across the street, Westmount Square. At one meeting, there were 50 people approximately. The other, there were 100, talking about the efforts. It's a major concern to us, too. I have personally met with the police chief of the City of Montreal, Fatty Dagger, and I speak to him and his chief of staff on a regular basis. The issue with safety here is very important to them, and our police has been augmented in number. We have, in the police station, we used to have 40 people. 5 have been added. There are 45 people in the police station number 12. Is it 12? 21 Stanton. 12, police station 12. There are 45 police officers assigned to that station. They're not entirely for Westmount because they cover part of Villa Maria, which is the Cabot Square. The demonstrations are being better controlled than they were in the past. It's an ongoing dialogue that we have with the security committee of the City of Montreal, with the head of the executive committee, with the police chief. It's an important issue to them too. The demonstrations seem to be fewer in number. The last few times we've taken more aggressive, police have taken at our pushing, really taken more of an aggressive stance in the sense that they don't let them come onto Wood, because let them stay on St. Catherine Street. And the issues in the past where people who live in One Wood were like trapped prisoners. They couldn't leave by foot, by car, and they couldn't come back by foot or by car, and we've stopped that. There's no access for them. So I think the police are doing more of the right thing. We continue to push because we're not so sure they're doing everything they can. I have an ongoing dialogue, and so does Commissioner Levine or Councillor Levine, and it's an important issue for us. You bring up a good question. Should they have a presentation? Should the police do a presentation for us? I'll bring that up.
Well,
Maybe
it was
a good
just
idea.
And thank you very much for your commitment to all of council and the administration for ensuring that we are safe.
We have police on foot, by the way.
We have police on foot. I saw them the other day. I live right next to the Lee Temple. In 2024, I think there was unfortunately there was a swastika that was drawn on it, and then A month ago, there was that incident. I know it's under investigation by the police. I live one street away from the temple. There are Narnia kids, the young kids from the CPR, who walk on my street, whether it's in the winter or in the summer. And I've always felt safe in my city, but I just feel that...
The other thing to bear in mind, we have ongoing dialogue with our own public security. We have 28 people in public security. They're very good at what they do. They patrol regularly, and certainly since the incident at the temple, both the police have confirmed to me and public security that we do many more patrols. And it was in fact alert public security people who captured this guy. They heard glass breaking. They weren't right there, but they were close by, and they heard glass breaking, and it's due to their instance being there fast on time and contacting the police that this person was arrested. He's being investigated. I have weekly conversations with our police commander. As far as I know, he's still incarcerated and being investigated. And I don't know if there's anything else I got to add at this time. Security is an important issue for us. We have more police. We have public security on bicycles also, which they took their bicycles out of storage at my request. I don't know how many they have, 2. And we have very good police people on foot on Green Avenue. They get to know the community, get to know the people, talk to them. They're super friendly. And if you see anything, the police and our public security said, if you see something suspicious, you're in a park, you see something, don't call public security, call the police. Call 911, you'll get faster action. Because it's not that the public security can't act fast, it's just the way the system works. When you call 911, you get faster service.
Absolutely. And again, thank you very much, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you.
Penny
Yes.
Arsenault again. I'll try not to be as wordy. We were talking about the park before and how much traffic there is and everything. And I think I understand why so many people come to the park. It's a great place, but it's also a gem, and it's a very, very important nature zone. It really is. We used to have park wardens that would protect the surroundings. Also, public security used to respond a lot better to things that were happening in the park. Yeah, no, I was alone in the park at like 10 o'clock at night a couple of weeks ago, and I called them because there were guys trying to ignite something on the island, and they never showed up. I waited till, anyways, it doesn't matter. But what I think happens is that we have all the activities happen at Westmount Park. We have Canada Day, we have Saint Jean-Baptiste, we have weekly concerts, we have Family Day. It brings a lot of people in. I know we're very proud of it, but also the poor park is so eroded. If you walk, we'll do a tour, I think, of the park, and you'll see it's very sad. It's all turned to dirt and mud, and there's barely anything living on the ground anymore. I think it's because of the traffic. So if we could consider changing, sharing activities with the WAG or Murray Hill Park or whatever other green spaces. It's a lot of fun to have these things, but Westmount Park is just beleaguered with all the activities. There's also Shakespeare in the park. There's movie nights. There's pretty much every single event is there.
We'll be
if we
looking
could
at that.
consider,
Thank
who would I
you.
speak to about something like that? Who would be in charge?
Noted. We'll get back to you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Good night.
Being no further business, I call the meeting closed at 10:04. Thank you very much, everybody.